Welcome to Statesmen, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we'll give you some. But most of this is half-baked opinion that is never intended to harm or offend anyone. Today, we paint a picture of America's tiny dingle coursing with a swampy soup of blood and sinking slowly into one of the great planet's wettest oceans. This 65,757 square mile conflation of land is the flattest state in the 50, rocking an itty-bitty mosquito bite titty of an elevation maxing out at 345 feet, and is home to over 80 different types of mosquitoes. The Panhandle is home to only one type of old person, horny retirees who get down and dirty where the sun don't shine. But here in the Sunshine State, a myriad of flora and fauna, including bottlenose dolphins, manatees, peregrine falcons, and Florida men thrive in its multitude of diverse ecosystems. If you haven't already, Google Florida man and your birthday in the same parameter. It's fun. Mine is, quote, a naked Florida man in a Publix parking lot kicked trash cans and jumped on and punched cars while screaming, "I only had one beer!" It's where the sawgrass meets the sky. We welcome you to Florida.
Here come them Statesmen boys again.
I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari, along with my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi,
Mr. 518, haha.
and Stuart Highcar.
Flow Riders strong.
Wow. Guys, how are you all doing this weekend?
So good. I am pumping with blood. I'm pumping with energy, and I'm pumping with coffee. I'm popped up.
Yeah, you're going from pale to red, like the beating of your heart in your face.
That's right. I got a little bit of sun down at the beach yesterday.
yeah.
And for all of my new friends, hang 10.
You didn't make any friends at the lake.
Shut up.
I'm happy that you went to the beach yesterday, but today we're all recording in our bathing suits because it's a hot one.
Oh my God, it's a hot one. And the sun is
hot
shining
state.
so hot.
Oh, yeah. It's the hottest state. And in these bathing suits, we could probably enjoy one of the world's great wet oceans.
Mm-hmm. One of the wettest.
You said that in the, what does that mean? One of the wettest oceans.
It's a fact.
What's the driest?
I could probably pull it the saltiest out.
For me, ocean spray cranberry
That is a dry juice.
Dry juice. Anthony, what's your driest ocean?
My driest ocean, ocean spray. I find it a little too dry to drink.
We
Makes
both
me
went
thirstier than when I
Yeah.
started.
Kind of went the same way. What about Ocean's 13?
That
Pretty
is
dry.
a dry movie, but Ocean's 8, also pretty dry.
How's your week been, Anthony?
It's been pretty dry, pretty boring. Standard. I've been busy as hell. I'm racing around.
That's right.
And I saw multiple movies. I got to see an advanced showing of Hobbs and Shaw for free.
Oh, no spoilers.
I won't
but-
spoil anything. I've been very responsible and tight-lipped.
Okay, but just a tiny spoiler. Which one's Hobbs and which is Shaw?
I can't give that away.
Yeah,
Okay,
whoa.
all right.
That's a
way-
big
We'll
spoiler.
talk
That's
after the pod.
spoiler.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Tim, have you seen any fun movies this week?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out this week. That was a really, really good time. Surprisingly, not set in the state that we're going to be talking about today, Florida.
No, but there is a Hollywood, Florida, is there not?
That's news to me.
Yeah, I was informed of that by a Comedy Central show.
That ran all of what? One season?
Do you mean the Hollywood of Florida, Miami? Is that really what you're talking about?
No, sir. There is a
Oh.
town called Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it is the Hollywood of the
and-
East Coast, I think.
Yeah, my goal is to be put on that Hollywood's Walk of Fame. I want to be the only star.
You and Pitbull, baby. Is
You
that
got-
Tim?
You guys like Coco? The movie, Coco.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. Just, bringing it up.
Just the sort of connection between that movie and
I'm
Pitbull?
in love with the Coco. I made that joke last week,
Mhm.
and I'm bringing it back, baby.
Yeah, I think it's.
Hey.
I think it has no
Tim,
life expectancy.
Who's your oh my gosh.
Anthony's vaping.
Anthony.
Stop making
Tim.
clouds at the table. What?
Tim, who's your favorite historical gorilla?
Harambe.
No.
No.
we don't have to-
Oh, you wanted me to say cocoa.
Yeah, that was an easy layup.
Yeah, but
Stu,
Yeah.
I have to be
who's-
honest.
Who's your favorite historical gorilla?
Say
Uh-huh.
Harambe.
I'm gonna go with Coco the gorilla.
Ah,
Mine's King Kong. He was real.
We got to get a guest in here. This is a
we
fucking
really
disaster.
do. Okay.
Is our guest King Kong?
I hope.
Well,
My
maybe
hero?
the King Kong of comedy. Let's please welcome our guest. She's the kindest comedian in Chicago. Let's please welcome Elizabeth Dow.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Elizabeth, we just performed a hot process show last night with Fever Dream.
We did, yes.
Yeah,
Brought
so
down the
It
house.
was very hot.
After that show last night, do you consider yourself the king kind of comedy?
ooh,
Yeah.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. All
the
right.
kind
would-
Kong.
Yeah. You know, it was so hot in there. I'm pretty sure we made it super humid too.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
just
That's-
like Florida.
Mhm.
You guys performed together, right?
No.
No.
For the folks at home,
Yeah, for the folks at home, Elizabeth and Anthony perform together every Saturday night at 8 p.m. at Second City for the cast of Fever Dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've actually known each other for quite some time because we
Mhm.
met when we were taking classes at IO in 2018.
Oh,
no,
shit.
2017.
No, yeah, 2017.
2017,
Uh,
crazy year.
Yeah. Level 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Mhm.
that's a tough one. That's the hump of classes there, you know,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's like, if I can get over this one, it's all
Mhm.
downhill from here.
And it's not that hard of a hump to get over because speaking of easy humps to get over, let's talk about Florida, one of the
Mm,
flattest states
is,
in the
yes.
nation, which is so surprising to me as a person, not from Florida to know that.
Yeah?
Because I thought it would be like Kansas or Nebraska as like the flattest state, but
Mm.
it is actually
Oh.
Florida.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why people fear that we're going to be underwater within like 5 years.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's terrifying. I guess an inch of water could cover an entire city if it's that flat, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Could
Mhm.
cover up Hollywood
That's
of
right.
the East
Tim.
Coast. Oh,
You've
no.
only just begun to learn about it, and it's already gone.
No.
Man.
Elizabeth, where are you from in Florida?
So I was literally born and raised in a small town called Dunedin, Florida.
Dunedin.
Which a lot of people think is pronounced Dundon or Dunedin, because it's like Dunedin, which is kind of just a 45-minute drive away from Tampa Bay.
Mm,
So I just tell people I'm from Tampa Bay. 'cause-
Okay.
gotcha.
Go
Um,
Bucks.
yeah, yeah.
Big
Quick.
fan of.
Good old Buccaneers.
And a big shout out to my aunt Danita, who shares a
Oh.
town. The town and her name are very similar.
Wow.
Danita,
Phonetically.
come on the pod.
I don't invite my aunt on the podcast.
We have two
Love
invitations out there based on the first part of this recording.
Mhm.
King Kong and Danita.
Oh.
And
What
also our landlord Brad.
What kind of a town is Dunedin? What is it? Dunedin?
Dunedin.
Dunedin.
Yeah. Dunedin is honestly full of white retired people,
Mm.
old people.
Is it like swampy? Like my
No.
understanding of Florida geography is like tropical palm trees and
Oh,
swamps.
okay.
That's like the
No, it's not really that swampy. I mean, I did live by a place called the Hammock Park, which literally was in my backyard, which is very swampy.
Hammock Park?
The Hammock Park, yeah.
Is it relaxing?
You know what it is? It's during certain seasons it is, and it's
Mm.
very relaxing to walk through there. But Dunedin is right on the Gulf Coast. Like my house was like 5 blocks away from the water.
Gotcha. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Holy shit. So let me ask you, during this whole Gulf oil spill,
Yeah.
were you on the beach
Oh.
cleaning it up?
2008?
What?
When was that?
No, you know what? I don't think it was in the Gulf, but it did not reach our beach.
That's good.
Thank
Jeez.
God.
So
Fucking BP.
yeah, you know what? I actually, ever since then, I have avoided going to those gas stations.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Shell
too.
all the way, baby.
Shell, known for their perfect drilling.
I'm an Exxon man myself.
Yeah.
So you spent 18 years, I assume, in
21.
21.
21,
Where did you
yeah.
go
Oh,
to
wow.
school, or did you?
Yeah, well, I went to St. Petersburg Community College for my
Okay. Nice.
associates and then moved up here to go to Columbia for my bachelor's.
What's the difference,
yeah.
or what's the distance between St. Petersburg and where you grew up?
Well, luckily their campus is so spread out. Like they have their main campus. I mean, they have a campus in St. Pete. They have one in Clearwater. They have one in Oldsmar. They have one in Tarpon.
I just want to clarify. St. Pete is what cool Florida people call St. Petersburg?
Yes.
On a first name,
St. Pete.
nickname basis.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
Also,
cool.
Tampa Bay is just Tampa. So,
The Tamp.
or yeah. Or
I don't know about that
I don't know
one.
about that one. Yeah, so St. Pete, their campus was spread out. So I mainly went to the Clearwater campus, which was only like a 15-minute drive from my house.
Pretty close to home. So when you finally left, I mean, your home kind of area and came here to Chicago, you were 21?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long have you been in Chicago?
5 years.
Wow. So you've had enough time to sort of acclimate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also work as a tour guide, so I probably
Yeah.
know more information
What?
about Chicago than I do about
What kind
Florida.
Well, so aside from the weather, it's the obvious difference. Like, what are some of the other
I don't know what
differences
you're
you've
talking
noticed?
about. The weather's so similar.
Florida, cold.
Florida cold, snowy all the time.
Yeah.
No. So besides from like the famously humid, swampy weather,
Yes.
that basically causes you to drown when you walk
Oh, my
outside.
God.
What are some of the other differences you've noticed since you've moved to Chicago?
Weather-wise, or
Just in terms
generally.
of like
Okay.
what you've noticed, like the people or the lifestyle.
Honestly, I'd stay away from weather. I think I'd say most of us can understand how much awful it's terrible here.
terrible here?
It's also terrible there.
I was
I
gonna
guess it's-
say I would rather live. I love the weather here better than I love Florida weather.
You're a fan of seasons.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely.
God, I don't know. Get that turmeric out of here.
What are the differences aside from weather? What are like the differences between the people or the culture that you see between Florida and a place like Chicago or the Midwest in general?
I guess Chicago's going to be more liberal, obviously.
Mhm.
I mean, just visiting home like back in 2016, on my block alone, you'd have people like every other house would be Trump.
Right.
Oh, sure.
So I mean, it was a mix in my hometown, and even Tampa Bay is kind of a mix. But I think Chicago definitely has like more of the Midwest feel, so people are a little more nicer.
Okay.
I
yeah.
feel like in Florida, we just stay in our houses and don't say hi.
What are like the
It's too hot.
demographics between young and old people? Is
Oh.
it like really predominantly old people, or is there like a healthy balance between the two?
No, there's definitely more old people than actual people my age. I will say around my hometown, around Tampa, there's a little place called Ybor,
Mhm.
and that's like kind of the club scene.
Ybor coming. Sorry. We keep
That's,
going.
and you will see a lot of more younger crowd around there, but and probably more around like Miami or
Yeah.
Orlando, but that's about it. Everyone else is old and retired, and
Did you
Yeah.
travel?
That sucks.
Did you get to travel a lot around the state while you lived there? Did
oh
you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My now here's the cool thing about my family is that living in Florida, most of the families would, of course, get the yearly passes to like Disney World.
Oh,
Sure,
sure.
Of course.
Mhm.
But my parents did not.
You were a universal family.
At times, yes.
Busch
Um,
Gardens.
Oh, you know what though? We did. I used to work at Busch Gardens too.
Oh,
so-
shit.
Yeah.
What job? Hold on. What job were you doing there?
I was a seasonal performer.
Seasonal performer of what? Were you in costume?
Yeah.
As what? The King Dakar?
I don't know what that is.
Isn't that a ride at Busch Gardens?
You're
have
thinking
no-
that's in
King
that's in New Jersey. You're thinking of Great Adventure in New Jersey.
Hey,
we have
never mind.
we have I forgot the rides at Busch Gardens. All I could think of was Cheetah Chase.
Cheetah Chase, okay.
Ooh,
That's a
Cheetah
newer one.
Chase.
Sounds
That
like
seems
ride
like
goes
tough.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was in costumes. I was a seasonal performer for their like Halloween and Christmas events. Halloween, I was a sub, which means that I subbed in for roles when people were sick or on vacation.
Tell me it happened.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yes.
We
And
had
then in
people, you also had people. The job was actually very intense, and some people would quit halfway through.
Mhm. And you played Dracula?
All the time,
Oh,
baby.
And then in the other seasons, you were a dom, correct?
Yes.
Did you actually ever get to Universal Studios?
Oh yeah, you know what was cool was Busch Gardens. Actually, if you worked for Busch Gardens, there you had an in with Universal, and you got to go to free to Universal.
Okay, I have to ask this question. As a young child watching TV, I watched Nickelodeon all the time.
Mm.
Did you ever get slimed?
No,
Fuck.
but I was on. My brother was on Figure It Out.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did
yeah,
he
yeah,
get
yeah.
Dang, that's cool.
Did
Yeah.
he get slimed?
No.
Hmm.
None-
Was there
none of us
slime?
got
Did they
slimed.
have slime on that show? What was the bad
Yeah.
thing that happened to you on Figure It Out?
I'm pretty sure
Slime
you
was
got
a
slammed.
slime was a
Slimed.
good thing.
Or was
What?
it? I don't know.
No.
I feel like getting slimed was always a good thing.
You want to get slimed, but to be slimed means that you've lost the game, I feel like.
Gotcha.
like I feel like it was just like if you win, you get slimed. If you lose, you also get slimed.
You'll get slimed if you win, too.
You get
Right.
slimed with swamp water.
Ooh,
Yeah.
not
Is it-
good.
How many times in Florida has the news story flesh-eating bacteria found in lake? I feel like I constantly hear like these people went swimming near Disneyland and now they're half a
Oh.
body or something.
You know what?
Oh.
I actually don't get that a lot. I get a lot of just alligators and sharks eating people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. It traveled here now. You brought the
I
Gators
know,
to
I did.
Chicago.
So we should probably start moving towards
I
getting
was-
into our segments. But
sorry.
but first, we need to know. So Florida's obviously a hot spot for the olds to go and retire. Would you ever think about returning to Florida at some point in your life to live again or
Oh, yeah.
retire
or to maybe
die?
pass on.
We're talking about death.
Yes, I want a gator to consume my body, or a python,
That's actually not.
because
That
that's been a
sounds
fear
kind of
mine.
cool.
Yeah,
Maybe not
might
while you're
be.
alive.
No,
You're
not
dead,
in this
being
time.
posthumously eaten.
not this time in the game, but maybe later in life.
Do you guys remember that guy on the Discovery Channel who wore pads and got swallowed by an anaconda? Does anyone remember this?
No, did he
No.
get
What?
slimed?
he came out looking slimy, my man. I think he killed this snake, but
Yeah, no shit.
That's horrible.
A live person is
yeah,
in there.
it was like a
Um,
stunt. It
That's
was
fucked
cool.
up.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes, I would actually love to have like a winter home there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that sounds
actually,
delightful.
I would
Yes.
love
Yeah.
to become the snowbirds I despise.
Mhm.
Ooh, the snowbirds what?
The snowbirds I despise.
Oh, the snowbirds you despise.
Yes.
Gotcha. That was a
Yeah.
weird word.
Flying south for the winter. Tim.
Mm.
All right. Well, we should probably get into the body of this
Yeah.
episode and start talking about Florida through
do
the old five senses. So that's what we're
Yes.
going to be doing. We're going to start out with our smells. But before we get into the five senses, I believe Anthony has a game.
Tim, you've been disqualified from this game for your intro.
That is,
Huh?
Oh.
I did realize while I was speaking my intro, you started clawing at your face in agony and despair.
Desperation.
Oh,
Yep, because the name of this game is Florida Management.
Yikes. Management.
I thought of that on the fly. It's a game based around the popular meme Florida Man Search. You go online, you search your birthday,
Mhm.
and you get in Florida Man, and you get a weird news story. Tim gave his away at the top of the podcast, and
Oh.
he therefore cannot play.
Oh.
Wow.
So, just to recap, a naked Florida man in a Publix parking lot kicked trash cans, jumped on and punched cars while screaming, "I only had one beer." Tim,
Damn.
you can go enjoy a beer in the kitchen.
I'm going to cross my arms and pout this
Oh.
entire
So-
game segment.
I've got 5 remaining.
Whoa.
I had to count them. I have 5 remaining post-its that bear news stories, right?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna read these off.
Okay.
One of them is from my birthday, and
Yeah.
one of them is from each of your birthdays.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna read these stories. The first round of the challenge is seeing if we can determine which one is false, which one is
Ah.
not a headline at all.
The
It's
one
one
that
that I
you
made
made
up.
up.
Okay.
Okay, so we're about to hear 5 headlines in a row. Anthony, let's hear them in your best news anchor
It's gonna be
voice.
hard. Okay.
And guys, just to correct myself, I'm sorry I was thrown off by Tim getting disqualified. I've actually made up 2 of these. So we're
Ah.
going to see if we can eliminate those first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
here
good.
are the options.
Yes.
Florida man sets fire to neighbor's car, brandishes pistol. Pajama-wearing Florida man reportedly wanted to flirt with Waffle House waitress, pulls a knife out.
Oh, Jesus.
Florida man finds panther sitting on father's front porch.
Okay.
Florida man gets $37,000 after officer thought donut glaze was meth. And Florida man breaks into convenience store, uses bathroom, steals 10 boxes of batteries, and flees from security.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Guys,
Okay.
there are the options. Right away, are there any that are jumping out at you as being false stories?
Yes.
Fake news?
I mean, I can say this right off the bat, Elizabeth. The one that you said, a man comes home to find a panther on his father's porch. I know that's incorrect. If this is in Florida, he's going to find a jaguar there. A Jaguars fan, probably.
Blake Bortles sitting.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So
not
I think
anymore.
I think
Not a
that
Jag
one
anymore.
is. I think that one's fake.
Oh gosh. I'm
there-
between the donut one and the Waffle House one.
See, I felt like both of those felt very accurate, but I don't know
Yeah,
why.
because that's the thing about Florida is
Yeah.
honestly it could all be true.
Sad and real. But is there one in particular that you were like, no way, not in my state?
Oh goodness.
The notes are right here if you would like to look them over again.
Yeah, I might want to do that.
Yeah,
Here.
I've got a terrible memory, so
Please.
really I only remembered
Take a
that
look at
Jaguar
these.
one.
Okay. Stu's guessing the Jaguar one has been false.
All right.
Elizabeth, what's your first false pick? Leaf through those post-it notes. We go through a lot of post-it notes on this show.
We do, yeah. We make a lot of trash that's small and yellow.
We also make a lot of trash and release it on the internet for free.
Speaking of small yellow trash, those minions.
Okay.
Hey, you be kind.
I wasn't paying attention to what
That's
you were
fine.
saying.
Yeah, no. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go with the pajama wearing Florida man. Is false.
Both of you are incorrect and have lost a point.
Okay. How many points did we have to start?
Yeah.
You had 0 points. You're both at -1.
Damn.
All right, guys.
Which is a first for Florida.
So,
Ah.
To be negative.
so
one.
remove those two that you guessed already.
Okay.
Yes.
We know that these are real.
We know those are
From
real,
these
and we
two-
know that they're associated
Wait,
with either
those,
Anthony.
So wait, those are actually real.
They're real and
headlines.
they'll remain in play.
Right.
So
Oh
these two,
my
these
God.
three, between these three,
Okay.
Okay, we have the neighbor. He set fire to neighbor's car and brandished a pistol.
Uh-huh.
Florida man gets $37,000 after officer thought donut glaze was meth.
Right.
And then you have the Florida man breaks into a convenience store, uses bathroom, steals. two
Right.
boxes.
I'll go with the donut glaze one. I don't think that's real. I do think cats have mistaken cat litter for meth before. I've never heard it with donut glaze, so I'm going to go with that one as the fake. Tim, welcome back to the table. You were
Thank you.
preparing the smell segment. What you've missed? Thrilling.
I can imagine that this game that Anthony always pulls out the greatest games.
Okay.
Elizabeth, which one do you think is false?
I also think the donut one is false.
Wow,
That was
we're-
my first one.
Okay.
that I
We are
thought of,
going to
but then I
double up.
changed
you're
it.
all wrong. Again,
Dang
so
it.
we're at
-2.
-2 each.
Negative 2
Oh,
each.
so that's gone.
that
You
leaves-
clearly
Okay.
need my help.
I
So-
guess.
I
This
guess that
leaves
works.
the two that were false remaining.
Okay,
So-
and it was one was the brandishing pistol lights his neighbor's car on fire. That one I thought
That's
sounded very
false?
real.
That's false. I made that up.
And the other one with the 10 boxes of batteries
Okay.
was fake.
Yes.
Wow.
So you guys are at -2 points.
Wow.
Which means that these three stories are true. This is the donut glaze, the Waffle House guy in pajamas, and the panther on the front porch.
You know
Now,
what?
Panther on the
Florida
porch.
ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
this is
Wait,
where
it ceases to amaze you or never ceases?
it stopped right now in this
I
moment.
don't. Yeah. What you
All right.
said.
So here's the deal.
Mhm.
Elizabeth, you're gonna get the first crack. You're our guest here.
Okay.
Which one of these occurred on whose birthday? You can guess anyone's birthday. You can guess your own.
Oh.
It could be mine or it could be Stu's.
Uh-huh. Now, here's what we should. I think, Elizabeth, when is your birthday? Mine's April 17th. Anthony, when is yours for the guests at home?
October 15th if you want to buy me something nice.
Mine is March 30th.
Okay, so good. We can maybe
okay.
delineate these a little bit with the seasons, except,
Maybe.
wait.
There are no seasons in Florida,
Mm,
Stu.
That's right, that's right.
That's true.
Tough.
Okay. All right.
Each time I think I have a grip on the wall, I fall back down.
You're no salamander, a Floridian salamander.
I have a tongue like one.
Okay.
Blah.
Elizabeth, It's time. You need to make a guess.
Am I guessing just one for someone's birthday?
Yes, and you can guess your own, or you
Okay.
could say this feels like it occurred on one of your birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess that the pajama wearing Florida man was on my birthday.
Mm.
In March, he
In
puts on
March.
jammers and goes to the Waffle House.
Elizabeth, incorrect. You've lost another point. You're at
Oh.
-3.
That's
Oh,
a tough
Stu.
one to get
man.
back from. Yep.
Stu,
That's all right.
it's on you.
All right, with the 3 remaining, and okie dokie. All right. Florida man finds panther sitting on father's front porch. That one scares me half to death, and I think it happened on my birthday.
Also incorrect. -3. Now, Tim, here's your shot at redemption.
Oh, I'm in the game now. Cool.
You were disqualified, but they're failing miserably. If you
Yeah, we're doing pretty
if
well.
you can choose what happened on whose birthday, you might get the first positive point of this game.
The
Okay.
first positive anything of this game.
So, Elizabeth, you have guessed that you're the pajama wearing birthday.
Yes, I thought that was fine.
You have guessed, Stu, that you're the Panther Man.
Yep. Well, I am the Panther man, but I guess that Panther thing happened on my birthday.
Okay, so I am going to guess then that, man gets $37,000 after Officer Donut Glaze. I'm going to guess that the Donut Glaze one is Elizabeth's.
Tim, -5 points.
Whoa!
Sorry,
Oh
guys.
my
I thought I came in
God.
as
Is
a
this
celebrity
gonna be like
shot.
a twist where like
Okay, so
They all happened on
these all
Anthony's
happened
birthday.
no,
on-
no, I swear this is a fair game.
Okay.
Now, with the process of elimination, this should be getting easier and easier. Elizabeth, this
okay.
is your chance.
Yes. Oh, that's true. Elizabeth, there is only
Okay,
one for
that's
you.
right. So and you know what's so funny is I thought about how I saw this headline and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've heard about this headline, and I think it's because I Googled my birthday once.
Ah.
It's all coming together. So mine is the Florida man finds panther sitting on father's front porch.
Wow.
Elizabeth, that's absolutely correct.
Yay!
100 points.
Amazing.
100 points. You're at 97
You're
points.
at 97
Congratulations.
points.
Wait, hold on. You lose 1 point if you lose,
Tim,
but
you,
then you
no,
gain
Tim,
100 if you
Tim,
win.
Tim, you
Listen,
missed
this
multiple
is Florida
rounds.
rules. It doesn't make sense.
Florida rules. You're at -5 right now. I'm at -3. Elizabeth's at 97. And with this guess, I think I might jump up there with her. Anthony, there's only 2 left. And I think I know for sure that Florida man gets $37,500 after officer thought donut glaze was meth. Happened on my birthday.
Incorrect. That was my birthday. Stu,
Whoa.
the game has ended
Oh,
because
yeah?
that happened on my birthday. There's only one more option,
yeah.
and that means Elizabeth is our winner.
Wow. Congrats, Elizabeth.
Yes.
From Florida man to Florida woman.
Yes.
And
That
you,
was pretty clean.
how many points did you achieve in the end?
A whopping
Was it
97 points.
97? Yeah,
97
97.
points.
Wow.
Holy shit. That is an incredible score, I would say.
That's a great score on the Rotten Tomatoes meter.
It's an A, baby.
Certified fresh.
That
Well-
was such a great score. You would have thought John Williams was in this room.
Oh, man.
Christ.
So that was Florida management.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Anthony, that was a stellar game, I would say. I apologize. Apologize for already doing it, already
Hey,
playing.
It's shocking that doesn't happen more frequently on this podcast because we do prepare all of our segments separately and without
Yes.
much discussion
Mm.
with each other.
Pretty
so-
iconically.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the body of the podcast, and in order to do that, we're going to explore this state, Florida, the Sunshine State, with our 5 senses of perception. And the first one that we're going to explore is with our noses. So I have prepared for you all 3 bags from a store that will not be named, but it is kind of like the flora of the state. It's very
Smelly.
smelly and
Wet.
fervent. And what's like a synonym for this word? Come on, y'all.
For that word in particular.
For this word.
healthy.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy, maybe.
Blooming.
Blooming.
Mm.
Yeah, sure. So these are
Yeah.
blooming.
Full.
These are blooming smells. I have 3 individual bags with 3 individual smells.
Oh. Okay.
Now, all of them are inside the bags. All of them are shaped in sort of like a Floridian beach fashion.
Oh my god!
And so we're gonna have to guess the shape of the things that's inside this bag with just our noses, y'all.
Wow.
So I'm passing these bags around.
Do
dang.
the smells match the shapes?
The smells, in a way, in my opinion, having seen them already and smelling them, it is kind of strange how they do match the shapes.
Now, these are from a cruelty-free cosmetics and self-care store that's pretty famous. I do love their products, and it famously is a very wonderfully scented store.
Oh, I forgot to say that they are that they are bath salts.
You're having us huff bath salts.
I'm having you all huff bath salts for this
very
one.
Florida. I love it.
Yeah.
So, going around, Anthony, you've been sticking your nose in this
Yeah.
brown paper bag.
I
What
wanna-
are you pulling out right now?
I want to live in here, y'all. This smells delicious.
It smells so good.
I would take a bite of this. It's sweet. It's citrusy.
Mmm.
Well, don't take a bite unless you start cursing and need to wash your mouth out.
Mmm. Okay, Elizabeth, what are you pulling out of yours?
I'm pulling out some memories.
Oh,
know,
I like
Pulling out some
that.
memories, y'all. I'm pulling out me being on the beach,
Wow.
and like dipping my toes in the water,
Oh,
and then
interesting.
ultimate, just getting stung all over by the stupid goddamn jellyfish.
In electrifying scent.
Yes.
So you've been stung multiple times by jellyfish. Is the
Oh,
pee
yeah.
is the pee story true?
No.
No, that's
it's
so
not.
fake.
That's an
is
urban
not.
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a weird thing that your uncle gets to do to you.
Gets to.
What?
Yeah, your uncle convinces you that peeing on a jellyfish sting soothes it. So
My uncle convinced
pees
me
on you.
that that's how you fix a bad brain freeze.
what? Peeing on your face? Sorry, Stu.
Jesus Christ.
You know
Look,
what,
the
though?
bag I smelled is very clean. It smells a little bit like fresh laundry or something. It's a little detergent-y.
Yeah.
While it smells very fresh and clean, I'm not sure what Florida smell I would connect to it.
So, how about maybe this will make it a little bit easier. I will tell you the 3 shapes that are in the bags.
Yes.
And they are
Okay.
different shapes.
Could you do it vaguely?
I'm
worried about us
vaguely-
touching the bags and knowing.
Oh, yes, that is actually a really, really good point. I'm gonna just say the shape, just
Okay.
be honest. So, one of them is a treasure chest,
Whoa.
like a sunken one. Another
Oh.
one is a seashell,
Oh.
and the third, a beach ball.
Whoa.
All of them Florida related. Now, go ahead and stick your sniffers in there one more time and see if you can identify the object that smell is associated with. Anthony has really stuck his sniffer in there. Stu's there.
I kind of want to say that mine's the treasure chest, but it's mostly because it has like a cinnamon to it or something, and I connect that to old wood.
Sure.
I don't know. Elizabeth, you want to switch with me? You've been smelling the same one this whole time.
I have
Let's.
been smelling the same.
Yeah.
My eyes have
Mine-
also been closed. I've been deep in.
I'm gonna guess right away here.
Ooh.
I think I've got the beach ball in hand.
Okay. Why
Okay.
is that?
I don't know. I'm getting a beach sense, not something that's been pulled out of the ocean, but something that's just lying around in the sun.
So many of these smell like soap.
Well, it is kind of soap, Stuart.
Huh?
We are kind of smelling soap.
I can't wait to use these in my bath later.
Yeah, I wish we had one.
I have one in my bathroom, and
Yeah.
you're not allowed
Yeah.
in.
Oh,
Much
yeah,
like
you-
my game, you've been disqualified from my bathroom.
Oh man, I thought I was giving these away at the end, but yeah, we do have a bath. Holy shit.
I actually think the one that I
Mhm.
had that you have now, I think
Yes.
I think that's a treasure chest.
Now that I've smelled it, sure. I honestly, guys, I have no way of telling between these things. I think they all smell very similar in my head.
Can I smell that one too?
Yeah.
No, yeah, we're all huffing
Here,
these.
I'll
in these
make
brown paper bags.
the noises while you guys smell.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, this one that Stu just passed to me has got to be the treasure chest.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, I think that's a treasure chest. That's the ball, and then this is the shell.
All
And
right.
just for our listeners at home, she was pointing in what I believe is the correct order. The one I'm holding, she said, was the treasure chest. The one that Tim is currently holding that was passed to Stu is the shell. and the one that she is holding.
No, I said this was the shell, and that was the ball.
Okay. Yeah, no, wait, I passed that to Stu. I'm getting myself confused.
The one I'm holding is a ball, I think. It smells like the plasticky vinyl of a beach ball while you're blowing it up. So maybe there's no way that's the smell they were trying to capture.
I'm feeling a little disoriented.
I didn't say that. Different store.
Yeah. This one smells like Florida poopery. And by that I mean, you know how you have like the poopery bowls?
Yeah.
But in Florida you do it, but they use sand and then like have shells and rocks on top, and you I guess you add like the oils into the sand.
Are those essential oils?
Yeah, I guess. Or natural beach smells. You know.
Crab juice.
All right, well, is that your final answer?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with
I'm locking it in, much like the treasure chest.
Well, here it is. Y'all are almost right.
Oh.
You switched
so
up the
close.
beach and the seashell smells.
So
Now,
I'm holding the seashell.
go ahead and pull them out. Let's see what they are. And they're so pretty. They are in these like little brown paper bags.
Oh,
Isn't that so
so
cute?
cute.
I know. And then the
I
treasure
want to
chest.
see this treasure
From the
chest.
right angle, mine looks like a
Oh.
samosa.
Oh man, it does kind of look like a samosa. The treasure chest is really
struggling to
actually
get it out.
fucking dope.
Whoa.
Oh, that's sick.
It's green and gold.
And it's got a skull on the top of it too.
I'm
wanna open
scared
this
from
up.
over here.
I want to open this up.
Stu, you got a little bit of
There's
you got a little
cocaine
bit
in
of
it.
powder on your nose. Oh, Stu.
No.
Stu's done all the cocoa.
It does taste really bad.
Oh no, my hands are so glittery now. There's
Anthony,
glitter in
Do
these.
you
Yeah.
do you have the feeling of wanting to eat someone's face off right now?
what I want to do is run so fast that my feet are on fire. Anthony, you famously snort a lot of the things we have up for the
don't.
smell segment.
Don't.
Do you think I could crush up a little bit of this bath salt for you to rail?
Now,
No.
famously, everything or most things from this company are edible because they're naturally made. But I don't think that
Famously?
applies to bath salts.
Hmm?
Let's not do that.
Hmm.
Let's not do that this time. There's actually even a skull and crossbones on this treasure chest, which means it's poison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I eat mussels and clams right out of the shells.
Most of the stuff at the store does look like it is edible though, and
Yeah,
it's like kind
yeah.
of scary. I was looking at some of these they're like hard oils, but they look like gummies, like Laffy Taffy.
Mhm.
It's really insane.
I do love this story.
Elizabeth, are there any other smells of Florida that obviously this is really soapy and delicious smelling, but are there any other smells that are more commonly associated with Florida that you don't see on the table right now?
Definitely a smell of like rain.
Sure, of
Um,
course.
Of
The
course.
infamous,
Humid, like,
elusive
these-
smell of rain.
Yes, yes.
Humid,
yes.
thick air
Yeah,
has that smell.
yeah. You know what though? It's very nice. Florida is known to have like a rainstorm that lasts like anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes and then it goes away.
Right.
And the moment before it rains, when you just like feel, it's almost like the humidity is being lifted up a little
Yeah, that
bit.
electricity in the
cool.
air.
Yeah, you feel that like static.
I
The
love that.
ions align.
Yeah. But it's like that smell of like you can feel the moisture being lifted and the rain's about to come. And it's just like it's like musty, but in a good way.
And I bet that feeling is pretty familiar to a lot of people in Florida, since old people seem to be able to sense when rain is coming. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, with their knees.
'Cause
With
Their
their
knees?
joints, yeah.
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 What?
Well, I'm saying in that moment just before the rain, when you start to sense it, old people. While Elizabeth thinks this is a great scent from her home state, maybe old people smell that and go, "Uh-oh, my knees aren't going to work anymore," because of the swelling.
You know what? Every time it rains, all the old people just fall over.
Wait,
Like the leftovers, they like just.
hold on. I'm missing. Is this
You're
a bit?
missing a key step, obviously.
Is this a
Tim,
bit?
No,
No.
Tim. When
I mean, yes, it is.
older people with like rickety joints, when the air pressure changes and when it's about to rain, like they can feel it in bad joints because of it's something to do
That
with
is a
mucous
thing.
membrane.
And
Yeah.
Tim, these aren't joints like. No. We're
Yeah.
talking about
Tim.
knees, elbows,
The squeaky
thingies.
ones.
And these aren't joints like that jazz club you go to every Saturday night, okay?
Okay,
And
gotcha.
these aren't joints like a Spike Lee film.
I get it. They're the ones in between my bones. I get it.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Wow, I can't believe that.
So, speaking of old people in Florida and smells, is there old people smell wafting down the street?
Old people.
No, but depending on what houses you're walking by, you might get like the minute someone opens their door, you might be like, oh yeah, that's an old person that lives there.
What is that old person smell we're smelling? Is it the decay of skin?
I think it's mothballs.
It is. You know what? It is. It's
But
like
what do you mean? They
mothballs.
don't carry around mothballs with them, do they?
Well, you
They
put
just
them in your
become
closet.
Oh,
They become a mothball.
so you're telling me I could put an old person in a box of old clothes in my attic and stop those moths from eating it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time any of you kids touched a mothball?
I've never touched a mothball.
Me neither. Elizabeth?
I can't recall.
Maybe Anthony.
Does it
Anthony,
count
go
if
ahead
I-
and answer, and then we got to move on.
I've never handled a mothball, but I've attended one.
Oh man,
I thought you
danced all
were-
night.
So wait, you've been to a mothball and a goth ball?
Yeah, same one. Goth moth.
Okay.
all right, y'all. We
Let's
need
please
Not
move
many
on.
bright lights in that.
Yo, we need
A
something
palate cleanser.
to
Oh
rate
my
we need
gosh.
something to
Yes.
rate my smell segment, and I don't have anything off the top of my head right now, so maybe I'm gonna mine it from one of you
I've
two.
got something. There's famously 206 bones in the human body. Each of those is connected by, I assume, one joint. So if we have that number to 103, I think that's our scale. So out of 103 human joints
That's pretty
that may or may not exist, how many joints does Tim's smell segment achieve for you, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I give it 100.
Whoa!
Wow. Hey,
Solid
that's a
score.
a
Yeah,
nearly
'cause-
perfect score.
I mean, it's hard to capture that rain smell. And
Sure.
another big smell of Florida is like when you drive by and you smell like sulfur. But
Sulfur.
I don't want to smell that.
That's not from the old people going to hell.
No,
is it?
that's more from like the swampy areas.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like very gross and
Yuck.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Get out of my
yucky.
swamp.
I've got 100 achy old joints out of
Mhm.
103 achy old joints, and I gotta say, it's a great fucking score.
Nice.
Well, we're gonna move on to our next regular segment, which is the sound segment for Florida, and it is Stuart that has prepared a presentation for
Cannot
us.
wait.
Whoa! Now, guys, Florida is a.
What was that?
That was a Florida call.
Oh.
Now Florida is pretty famous. They have a lot of culture, a lot of people coming out of there, large population state. So you'd expect a lot of big musical acts, musical names, and entertainment
You
names
would
specifically.
think.
Well, let's just get into the list. This first guy is the big papa of it all.
I got that Archie Bunker, and it's so white I just might charge a double. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah.
One nation.
Of course, that was Ricky Rick Ross himself with the song BMF. If you had to guess, and I'll let you guess in just a second, Elizabeth, but do you think BMF stands for Bam Margera's feet?
No.
No, I think it stands for big muscle self.
Oh, the
The F is an S.
No, it's the
I thought you said
Blowing-
S.
BMF. I thought you meant the F
Should
at
I
the end
mention
of
I'm
self.
also dyslexic?
Is BMF big motherfucker?
No, it's blowing money fast.
Yeah, so you were all. Thank you,
Oh.
Anthony. Anthony's got it. Guys, Rick Ross was born in Mississippi, but came to the streets of Carroll City, Florida as a young boy, where he grew and got his start. Ross debuted with his single Hustlin' in 2006, and it started a bidding war between multiple labels. I mean, like, he was the hottest fucking thing in the world. He's pretty much all of his albums since have been on the Billboard 200 list. He's like a massive name in Florida hip hop just in general. And he founded his own label, Maybach Music, in 2009. These days, he owns a part of Wingstop, famous for his lemon pepper rub.
Oh.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, and you can visit this place at home, listeners, you can go online to his website at rickrossmastermind.com.
Whoa. What's
And-
on there?
Mostly
like
just
tour shit.
broken links. If you believe.
That's from one of his previous albums.
He might be a
Mastermind.
mastermind, but he doesn't know HTML5.
Hey guys, I think that we need to get a tag for our show, Statesmen podcast.
Famously in Rick Ross's music, you'll hear the tag Maybach music, and it's awful. I hate
Camden looks so upset.
Well,
Yeah,
Camden should
yeah.
create a producer tag, I think, to just hit over like all our drops to just go, Camden. What do you think of that, Camden? Yes? No? I mean, he's nodding yes.
Just shaking his head no.
Elizabeth, do you have any connection to Rick Ross or any of the big trappin' papas of the Florida South?
Absolutely not.
Trapping papas.
Okay. Well, I thought just maybe. Have you ever been to a Wingstop?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you're not so far removed from Rose himself.
No, you know what? I'm pretty sure I probably have had his rub before.
It's a
'Cause
great
I do
rub.
love like a lemony, like limey taste.
I mean, believe it or not, it's the perfect wing flavor. Anthony, do you have one that tops it? And don't say garlic parm.
I used to work at Buffalo Wild Wings very famously.
And then you worked at Lids, right?
You brought up blowing money BMF.
Yep.
That was BWW. And let me tell you,
Oh.
there were tons of flavors, but I do love that lemon pepper rub. I have an interesting history with Rick Ross. I used to hate him. I really
Me
used to
too.
shit on his music.
Yeah.
But then I saw him live opening for Lil Wayne in upstate New York, and he put on a crazy show. And this is before he lost all that weight. He just ripped off his shirt and like threw it in the crowd,
Hell
and
yeah.
his big boobies were bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
But he was like getting the crowd like completely crazed.
Oh,
He
that's
was
awesome.
going in, and it was like an undeniable energy. And since then, I've just been a huge fan of his.
I'm surprised if he showed off his boobies that he
Mhm.
didn't coordinate with Hooters.
you
Because that is
Elizabeth's really getting in the mood of the show.
That's
know,
a Florida chick.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
obviously,
Oh, cool.
obviously, he's problematic. He's got some problematic lyrics.
Sure.
But I do think that. I'm a little worried for his health. He's famously had a lot of seizures lately,
Oh,
and
no.
and
that happens to just about any rapper who was big during the lean era. You know,
Mhm.
I think Lil Wayne famously can't fly anymore. Like, it's
Yeah.
such a big fucking problem. But
I do think he's an icon of Florida. I think that he really has done a lot with his label and broken some interesting acts, but he's also just like so fun because he projects that mafioso crime boss image.
Mhm. And shout out to him coming out of Carroll City. You know, it's impressive to see a musician come out of there who's not singing Jingle Bells.
That yeah.
Camden, how about you play the next funky song? Woo! That is Casey and the Sunshine Band with their hit "I'm Your Boogeyman." And I know when I said boogeyman, Tim cowered under the table.
I did. My this is an anecdote. My dad used to play with my sister, my mom, and myself. We used to turn off all the lights in the house, and he would go hide in like the sheer dark, and he would say
God.
boogie boogie, and we would have to like go towards the sound to find him. And when we found him, he would scare the shit out of us.
I don't like that story.
That's traumatic.
Yeah, that was horrific.
It was a
Boogie
great
boogie.
family time.
Oh,
Boogie,
no.
boogie.
Boogie.
Boogie Boogie would echo through the house, and Tim knew it was time to be scared again.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Well, let's not be too scared of KC and the Sunshine Band, because they're a disco and funk group founded in Hialeah. Is that it? Hialeah?
Hi. Oh.
Hialeah? It's right there. Hialeah.
Yeah, I think it's Hialeah.
Okay, Hialeah, Florida in 1973. They got their band name from vocalist Harry Wayne Casey's last name, KC. And then the Sunshine Band comes from the fact that it's in Florida, the Sunshine State. I know Casey and the Sunshine Band sounds like a little hacky, but believe it or not, the group has had 6 top 10 singles, 5 number 1 singles, and 1 number 2 single on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Their hits include That's the Way I Like It, a classic, Boogie Shoes, a classic, Shake Your Booty, a classic, and Get Down Tonight. I mean, guys, they've had over 26 members in the entire career of the
my
band, and they've
God.
had
Wow.
massive success in disco and funk.
Are
let's
there
just-
are there
yeah,
any
no.
original members still remaining?
I believe they've all passed.
So there's like a totally new.
No, the band is huge. It's like they've got a horn section, they have some strings, they have like the traditional layout. The singer he's on the drums. Like it's a big funk band. And it's kind of the reason that they're able to get those big funky tunes out. Elizabeth, did you have any memories of maybe going to a middle school dance and shaking your boogie shoes?
Honestly, no.
Well, you didn't grow up in 1974? I don't know why I'm playing.
No, you know what? I think I have heard some of their music before. I don't think I've heard that song that you played.
Well, what about I wanna put on, I wanna put your shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that one before.
Was it at a middle school dance?
No.
Okay, all right.
It was probably on the radio driving through somewhere in Florida with my family.
Sunshine Band in the Sunshine Land, all right? I love it.
I think that's a great band. That's a lot of fun. Their music is fun party energy, and I think that really suits like the Florida party scene aesthetic.
I think it also really shows the music video I watched for it is all of them just like having the time of their life, probably coked out of their minds, just like in the brightest bell bottoms you've ever seen, just grooving around.
Hell yeah.
I wish they had played it at my middle school dances.
You mean you wish Casey and the Sunshine Band were live at your middle school dance to play you Boogie Shoes?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can move on to this next artist.
Gonna free fall.
Oh no.
Out into nothing. Gonna leave this world for a while.
Yeah!
Tom Petty.
Hey! It's my segment.
Sorry, I'm excited.
That was Tom Petty.
Rest in pieces.
Sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
it's
step on
totally
your
fine.
toes.
Of course you know who he was. That's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, famously from Gainesville, Florida. Anthony was getting pretty exciting when he heard the lyrics to this song, Free Fallin', but I think you misheard them as Free Fallin', and that's, we can't give you any Fallin'. You got to pay for those tickets.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
I gotta wait in line at 30 rows.
Oh my God.
Tom Petty, born in Gainesville, and you know he's a native because in September of 2006, him and the Heartbreakers all received keys to the city, which
Whoa.
is pretty cool. In his career, he sold more than 80 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling musical artists of all time. Inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002. I mean, he's had an endless career since the late 60s, early 70s. Just one of the best guitarists of all time. Beautiful hair, a gorgeous set of teeth. There's only one man, and he's in the White House, who has the same kind of hair and teeth as Tom Petty. And sorry, R.I.P. to Tom, but he's number 2 these
You know,
days.
Goodness.
This is a quick anecdote, but when I was a kid, my dad would hide and turn off all the lights, and he would go, "Oh yeah, all right, take it easy, baby."
And then you'd have to yell out loud,
In the
make
game-
it last all night.
Yeah, the game would last all night.
That's right, famously,
Wow.
famously. Well, guys, I mean, we don't have to talk much about Tom Petty. He's a king, but we can talk about how he was on King of the Hill as his character Lucky.
What the heck?
Was that a recurring character?
28 episodes.
Holy shit.
I think real
Wow.
King fans will recognize Lucky for his big teeth and great hair.
You
my
keep,
God.
keep emphasizing that.
Huh?
Keep emphasizing those features. The man did have stellar hair.
That's
Yeah.
true. I know I said get out of my swamp earlier, but have you ever noticed how Donkey and Shrek has big teeth and great hair? You guys want to talk about Tom Petty? We don't have to. I mean, he's from Florida. He's a native, and
I just want to say that
Mhm.
that he would not be gator bait then, because he grew up in Gainesville. You know,
What?
gator bait, gator bait.
okay. Do you want to explain a little bit to the listeners
Yeah,
at
I
home?
missed
That's
that.
what they chant. Listen, if you go to UF,
Mhm.
which is the college in Gainesville,
University of Florida.
Yes, University of Florida.
Gotcha.
Sorry, the people from Florida call it UF.
Yeah, and I bet some dyslexic people get there and are very offended by the sign.
Hurt me. Yes.
Gator bait, right? Sorry.
It might finally be the episode where I do kill myself at the end of it.
So Gator bait is
That's the chant. If you go to UF and you go to like football games,
Mhm.
that's the chance that you chant to the other team,
right.
Because they're gator bait. But only if they're playing in the swamp, which is what they call the field at University of Florida.
They call it the swamp.
They call it the swamp.
Do they play the audio of Shrek yelling, "Get out of my swamp"? Because it feels like they're
They
missing.
so
Like,
should.
They played the remix where it's like, "Get out of my swamp," and they do like swamp, and then,
And in the morning, I'm making waffles. Bom, bom, bom.
wow.
Well, we're making music with our mouth, but I think we could probably move on to someone who makes more beautiful music with her mouth.
Something about you.
Oh my God.
Like a dangerous woman.
Something about you. Anthony, you know who it is. You yelled Tom Petty. You better yell this one too.
Is that Ariana Grande?
Ariana
Ooh.
Grande, born in Boca Raton.
Wow.
She bougie.
Okay, yes, she is. Yes, she is. But she's got a high pony that could break my big teeth and good hair. So what do you guys want from me? She rose to prominence playing Kat on the Nickelodeon show Victorious, and then got her own spin-off. And from there, she became a singer where she had 6 chart-topping albums in a row and has amassed more than 30 billion plays on streaming platforms. We all know Ariana. Let's name him. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Pete Davidson.
Sure.
Of course.
Or
Of
is my-
SNL fame.
Mhm.
Or as my dyslexic mind always says, P.D. Davidson.
P.D. Davidson.
I don't know why I asked.
It's not
the
a
E
Y
at the
in
end.
its name. Okay.
I know. But my friend would correct, my roommate corrects me all the time. I say, "Oh yeah, P.D. David." She's like, "It's just P.D."
I like P.D. Davidson because it feels like he's your younger brother who you don't take
Exactly,
seriously.
and he is younger than
He
me.
does
so.
look like everybody's younger brother who he shouldn't take
Yeah.
seriously.
Hey.
And by the way,
Uh-huh.
Pete, why haven't you come on the pod? I don't understand. We
Hey.
haven't done New York yet.
He reached out and I said, thank you, next.
Oh, Anthony, nice.
Oh, man.
Was it- Hey, Ariana Grande used to be on Nickelodeon, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she ever get slimed?
Fine. I don't know. Billboard made her the Woman of the Year in 2018, though. But
Sick.
fuck that, though, Anthony, because as of February 2019, she was the most followed woman on Instagram.
Wow.
That's actually a pretty
Wow,
big
you
That's
could say
deal.
she's
incredible.
She's like the god of the woman.
She's only if God was woman.
When did
What was
Victoria?
what's the name of that song?
Yeah, God is a woman.
God is a okay. So you guys, I just quick game. I know we're done with the game slot. You have 7 rings to give to any celebrity.
Oh.
Who do you give them to? And this is marriage.
7 rings.
7 rings, much like her famous song.
Oh,
7 rings.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
That
Not
one.
like the Mandarin from Marvel.
Gotcha. 7 rings to Ricky Ross for me.
7. Oh wow.
All
Oh.
7.
Anthony?
I would give 4 rings out to the folks around this table.
Oh.
And
Oh.
keep
Me,
3 to
yours-
yourself.
You're celebrities.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That means you get one too.
Oh, I'll take one.
Yeah.
But
Mar-
I was
Oh,
including
Camden.
Camden, of
yeah, I'm
course.
so sorry.
Are you serious? He's not blending into the background. The man's right here.
No, he's wearing popping patterns. Look, Elizabeth, tell
Oh.
me, who are you giving these 7 rings to? And don't say Sonic the Hedgehog. That was better than the other one. All right, you go ahead.
Oh well, now I want to.
That's fine. You can say Tails.
You know what? I do love Tails, but I'm not gonna give Tails my rings.
Good.
I'm gonna give my rings to all the Gators.
Whoa!
All the gators out
All
there.
the Gators
And
out
everyone
there.
who didn't get a ring,
Specifically, Chance the Snapper.
everyone else is
I
gator bait, baby.
Love him. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a big deal. Where's that alligator going to now? The snapper?
Isn't he in
He's
his-
hell.
in Florida.
He's in Florida
He's in
going
Florida.
to a preserve.
Mhm.
Good for him. Good for him. Well, let's
St.
move on to our
Augustine.
finals.
Yeah.
Guys, this one might surprise you, but once we listen to the clip, we can go ahead and talk about why I selected it. Camden? Of course, the song Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm.
What
Okay.
the fuck, dude?
Danny I think I might be able to break this down. Danny
Okay.
California, California, rest in peace. Well, we have to find a new California, and that California, where's Hollywood? It's in Florida.
It's in
Wow,
Florida.
that's
Yeah.
a really good walk you had, Tim, but unfortunately incorrect. You see, while the Red Hot Chili Peppers are a famous California band, their drummer's name is Chad Smith. as in the hanging chads of the 2000 presidential election. Hit it, Camden!
You punch left, I punch right. We're caught up in the middle of a deep swamp fight. Some people lie, some people steal, and everybody's talking about the Green New Deal. Shut up about politics.
I am so baffled.
All right, so that was John Rich's song "Shut Up Politics," featuring Fox News' The Five. It's called "Shut Up About Politics," and it's encouraging anyone who isn't a politician and some politicians to not talk about politics. I don't want to talk about that song because it's awful and it's the worst thing I've ever heard. But Florida is a purple, flip-flopping state with a mixing voter base and differing agendas. I mean, we talked about it a little at the beginning. I just wanted to use this part of the sound segment for us to all talk about how we were feeling and where we were during the infamous recount of the 2000 election. We'll start with you, Tim.
Of 2000. So I don't really remember the actual election date, but I do remember in first grade.
It would have been November 8th, I think.
Well, okay. Well, we received, in first grade, we received 2 pieces of paper, one with Bush's face and one with Gore's face, and we had to choose which one we would vote for if we were of age. And I remember drawing a big old football helmet on Al Gore.
Okay, interesting. Anthony?
I was a child. I
Okay.
was blissfully unaware of what was going on in the political sphere. I was outside spraying someone with a water gun.
Sounds like he would have drawn the football helmet.
Oh wait,
on
it was
Bush.
November. I was
Yeah, that's a cold
I
spray.
was outside bashing someone's leftover Halloween pumpkins.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
you probably remember best of anyone here. Where were you on that fateful day?
Yeah, you know what? I just actually had a memory that I forgot about. I remember around this time that I was in school and we had like a mock election. And I remember I did not vote for Bush. I think because my parents constantly talked about how they didn't want him as president. So I was like, oh, I'll vote for the other guy. And then for the longest time, I thought I actually did vote because we had the mock election in my school.
You thought that you had committed like voting fraud.
And there was one time I was talking. I think there was one time we were like had some family friends over, and I was like overhearing the adults talking about the election. I just came into the room and I was like, oh, I didn't vote for him.
Not my president.
The entire United States had a mock election that year.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, real galaxy brain shit.
I'm fucked up right now. I can't barely see straight, but I gotta get a ranking on my segment.
Oh, true.
Out of 103 joints, and probably the 103 joints that Al Gore was smoking down there in Florida, not campaigning where he should have. How many joints would you give my audio segment? Elizabeth, please.
You know what?
And be rude if you have to.
Oh, actually, I really liked it because
Huh?
I know nothing about Florida music.
Whoa.
So Ariana Grande had 7 rings. So I'm gonna give you a 97.
Whoa.
Undeserved.
What?
You fucked up. You fucked up.
How did I fuck up?
You did not include Mr. 305 himself a single time, and instead you made a mockery of the segment by including a Danny California.
Are we talking about Pitbull?
We are talking about
Of
Mr.
course.
Worldwide himself.
Listen,
Yeah.
I actually am very glad you did not include.
Thank you.
I hate Pitbull.
I did some research. Every single person in Florida hates Pitbull.
I hate him. Love the breed though.
I think the breed, lovely. The person, way too dangerous and aggressive.
Oh, yes.
I think
Yes.
I'm so tired of seeing Pitbull with his clipped ears and no tail running around the stage, biting at whatever he can.
I think he's a
Darling.
party legend.
Also, I don't know. Does Pitbull look like the kind of guy you could have a conversation with?
Only if it's about
He looks like a penis with sunglasses.
only if it's about partying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or suits.
speaking of a penis with sunglasses, I think any penis down in Florida would need a pair
Oh.
because it's so bright. Our futures are bright as well. And Tim, your segment is the future.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you for.
My legs are tired from running that far.
Yeah. What was your? I was out of the room when you were giving the score. What was the score?
I gave him a 97.
97 achy joints
Out of
103.
Yep.
achy
I've only
joints.
got 3 joints less achy than you, and I believe they're in one of my pinkies.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay, well, that was a sound segment presented by Stuart Highcar. We're going to move on to our next regular segment where we explore the taste of Florida with our tongues.
Oh.
So today, I have prepared for you all something a little bit homemade. I've prepared an example of what I found in my research to be Floridian cuisine.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Floridian being a portmanteau of Florida and Caribbean. And what the cuisine pretty much tries to pull out is a lot of like pungent flavors like black pepper, cayenne, and paprika with some seafood and citrusy flavors. So, Elizabeth, I heard that you didn't like seafood and
Yes, I
totally
do.
forgot about that when I was
Oh,
going to
no.
purchase all my stuff.
I'm very open to trying things. So
I think that you'll like this because it's not too seafoody. I've tried it already. What I prepared for you all is a Floridian take on shrimp and grits. So,
Floridian.
a what?
You said
Floridian.
Floridian. Wait.
Floridian. So,
Floridian.
yeah. Just
Okay.
explained it. It's Florida and Caribbean
got
in
it.
a portmanteau.
Yeah.
So
Elizabeth, he's mad at you.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
You're going to be disqualified from this segment.
So basically, what I've done is I've mixed up a bunch of different spices and put them all on the shrimp. It's like paprika, cayenne, salt, black
Oh.
pepper, and then put a little bit of grits in there too. So the grits are with some onion powder, some lemon juice, some green onion, and a couple of other different flavors. So I think this is really good. I added a little bit too much cayenne because I thought that was paprika and mixed the two up. So it's just a
That's
little bit
okay.
spicy.
We like spicy. So.
Additionally, it wouldn't be the taste segment without a fresh glass of orange juice because what is
Yeah.
Florida without its oranges? So, Grace Rushdie, a previous guest on the show, helped me out today by hand squeezing some oranges, and to boot, I have included a nice big bottle of unpopped champagne. So.
Oh.
We're going to, if you would, have some mimosas with our dish.
That's
So
lovely.
there's some plates around, and I'm gonna serve up just a little bit to everybody really quick. And Stu, you're gonna be popping that champagne bottle. I assume you've done this before.
I had not just done it before, I did it yesterday. I was out on the beach drinking mimosas with the girls.
Oh, nice, excellent. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, but
That
you
sounds
won't
like
believe it. Samantha's dating a firefighter.
Anthony, have you tasted that yet?
Yes, I have.
And what do you think?
I haven't had any of the shrimp yet, but I got some of the grits and some of the bacon. There's a really nice flavor here. The grits are a lot more solid than I'm used to. I'm used to them being a little more sludgy or watery.
I accidentally dried them out a little. I think I overcooked them just a little bit more
Yeah.
than they're supposed to.
There's
Cam,
a definite.
did you time the music with the cork pop? It sounded sexy.
Yeah, let's keep going.
There's a real distinct heat to it.
Yeah, that's all that cayenne that I accidentally put in there.
I
Eliz-
like it.
Have you
I'm not
tried
mad
it? Yet?
at it. I'm not
I've-
mad at it.
Again, I just had the grit. I haven't tried the shrimp.
I think the shrimp is the
Which,
really
you know what?
standout
This
bit.
is actually going to be the first time I've ever eaten shrimp.
Really? Oh, I really hope you're not.
We're
allergic.
literally about to watch a sin from the
Oh,
Old
no.
Testament. Wow.
Oh,
Sin.
That's
and don't
right.
pop the whole thing in your mouth because it
Oh.
is shelled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is
Well, I
like a
took
little
off-
bit of a tail on there.
I took off the tail, I think.
Okay. Yeah, just be careful when you're eating that whole thing.
Is there a shell on the outside or is it just the tail?
It's just the tail. There's,
Okay.
Yeah, I got them deshelled
I was
and
going to
deveined.
say.
But god dang. Those are really good.
And from here on out, I'm going to be passing out some mimosas. Mademoiselle.
Thank you.
I've been a little quiet as I ate, but damn, dude, this is delicious.
Yeah,
I really
think,
like it. It's not
That's-
super heavy, but it has that. It's really filling, but it's not like heavy.
Oh, and that OJ. Oh, that mimosa
That
is
is
so
some
fucking
fresh
good.
ass
some
OJ.
Nice, fresh.
Holy
oranges.
shit.
And now, guys, I have something to reveal. It's that I don't actually like orange juice. Not the biggest
Really?
fan of it on its own. I can drink a mimosa or a screwdriver. That's just fine. But I'm not one of those guys who wakes up in the morning, pours a coffee, pours an OJ, and drinks them both out in the hot tub. That'd
So-
be my dad.
So I have to say, like, there is a real distinct difference between good orange juice and that watery bullshit you get from like McDonald's, for instance.
Yeah. That's where I've
yeah,
drank
yeah.
all my orange juice so far.
Yeah, and it really just like makes me sick to my stomach. But like fresh orange juice is some of the best juice.
Yeah, I McDonald's orange juice is something that is something disturbing to me because I was a disgusting teenager when I was a kid, and my friends and I would go out to McDonald's and, get McDonald's breakfast, and it'd be like a kind of a big thing. And we would leave our trash out, just like sitting out in our basement to, ferment and all this kind of shit. And there was this one OJ that we left in the fridge for a really long time, and it separated out hardcore.
Oh, no.
Where it was orange and pink, and then at the very bottom of it had like a really like thick black line.
Ew.
And it has turned me off to McDonald's coffee for
Oh.
literally forever. I don't know if I'll ever drink that shit, but it also could be because we left it out for like 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they deserve all the blame there.
No, but McDonald's does leave their drinks out for 5.5 months. So, Tim, you're only doubling the process.
And hey, if you spill that coffee on yourself, you will get money.
You also, that's true. Rest in peace to that poor woman. She like,
Oh yeah. She didn't die. She just got really hurt.
No,
I think
got
she's
horrible
died
burns.
since then. But
She was
Yeah.
pretty old, I think.
she
when that
died
happened.
horribly, unfortunately, and this is kind of ironic. But she fell into a giant coffee pot and was boiled to death.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
that's pretty
It's
funny.
awful.
Very
but
ironic.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful. And Alanis Morissette was there. Anthony, you're shaking some grits off of your phone.
Yeah,
Were you
it
trying
fell
to?
on me.
Were you trying to take a phone call? What was that?
Yeah. Pitbull was calling in to scream at you for not
He
including
does
it.
have the live
felt left
feed,
out.
doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't I say timber and pour a little bit more champagne?
Did you get any food stew?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
I've been snacking on this little plate down here. I tried a shrimp. I tried some bacon. I like the bacon. It's a little, I don't know. I feel like there's a different kick I need in here. Something like sweet almost to like overpower the.
Maybe
Definitely.
a little lime.
A little
Definitely a
lime,
little bit more
yeah.
lemon juice, I think, would have been a nice addition to those grits.
What
if
I
it
want
were
to
just
say,
like a little
though-
bit more citrusy.
Mhm. This certainly is not bad.
Yeah.
I think especially for a cuisine that seems so foreign to Tim, you and your background and where you come from and the traits of cooking that you know. I mean, this is a whole different thing. This is a quarterback playing defensive tackle.
This is the first time I'm having grits. I've
Wow.
never. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And they're good.
Ooh.
certainly
aren't bad.
Grits are delicious.
Yeah. What about like a soda you left out on the beach and it got some sand on the rim?
That's a grit.
Well, that's gritty.
So Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Your first shrimp experience. What did you
Yeah.
think?
Well, I'm not breaking into hives, so that's good.
That
is
good.
No, actually, shrimp is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrimp is delicious.
It's a really good vessel for flavor.
Yeah.
It really has like a quality to it where flavor clings to it and sinks into it and brings out different natural flavors in it as well.
If you do it well, it doesn't have all that overpowering of a fishy flavor, whereas like a lot of other seafoods can have. But I think,
Yeah.
shrimp is like the tortilla chip of seafood.
Yeah.
And my problem has never been I want to like fish, and I've eaten salmon before, but it's a texture thing. I like
Oh, interesting.
salmon. I'll take a few bites, and then all of a sudden my mind's like, it tastes like chicken, but it's not chicken, so we need to stop.
I see. Well, how do you feel about like sushi?
Yeah.
Sushi, I'm not a huge fan of sushi.
That makes sense.
Either.
That's sort of the purest form. Of the
Yeah,
fish
it
spear.
is. It really is.
Because that
I've
fish is
tried
like-
it. Never really liked it.
I
So.
understand. It's okay. Tim was going to roll up some California rolls for
Mhm.
today, but
Ah.
here we are.
But wait, that would make any sense because this.
Well,
is...
no. Remember, Chad Smith is the drummer for California
Oh,
rolls.
Okay,
so-
sure. Yeah.
What other foods from Florida would you commonly associate with the state? I had a little bit of trouble finding like anything else other than Floridian cuisine.
Really?
Yeah.
What about like Cuban food?
Yeah, I was gonna say a
Sure.
big thing growing up around Tampa was the Cuban sandwich.
Mhm.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Which when I was younger, hated, and then ever since I've moved away from home, I crave constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's
It's-
like pork with pickle and mustard and
Yeah, it's you have Cuban bread with ham, pulled pork, pickles, mustard, and Swiss cheese.
Oh,
and it's
man.
pressed.
And it's pressed.
Oh,
yeah.
like a
Pressed. It's cooked
panini?
very
Mhm.
Yeah,
specifically,
usually pressed.
Or sometimes those hot Miami guys will put it between their bicep and lower arm and just curl it.
Mhm.
Nice.
Sizzled.
I'm surprised you didn't have key lime pie.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's from Florida.
Yeah, that's
From the
From the
Keys.
Keys.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's right, where the limes are grown.
Is that true? With the
Yes.
limes are grown on the Keys?
I hope so.
I have no idea.
I said it, man. I hope it's true.
I do not know. But yeah, key lime's a big one. Trying to think out.
I feel like with this as a
think there's-
side, a Cuban is a main dish, and then a dessert from
Yeah.
key lime pie.
Oh,
This
That's a
would be
pretty
a
well-rounded
great
meal.
that'd
appetizer.
be
Yeah.
delicious.
So, I mean, Elizabeth, out of 103 joints that you Tim cracked after he finished cooking this meal, how many joints would you give Tim?
I think this is delicious. I'm glad this podcast was the first time I ever had shrimp.
Mhm.
It's great. Shrimp is great.
It's a
Yeah,
huge
great,
day.
great to share a new beginning with you.
Yeah. And eating it, it's like has a lot of good spices. I think the heat is making me swell a little bit. And it feels like I'm actually there in Florida right now.
So the heat's
Um,
making you swell. It's not the shrimp, just to clarify.
Yes. Yes.
I'm also a little bit sweaty, but mine's from the shrimp. Tim, those
Oh.
spices are caliente.
Wait,
I like it.
what was my score?
I haven't given it
Okay,
yet.
great. I thought I-
Tim
Describing.
cares about one thing.
Well, Stu was writing something on the board.
I wrote shrimp is good.
Shrimp is good. Yes, you did right. Shrimp is
Yeah,
good.
so I got a little bit distracted.
So I'm gonna give because you know what, there is a part of me that really wants that. Oh, and the fact that it's freshly squeezed orange juice.
Mhm.
Not from concentrate.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you 90.
90. Wow.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
because I am missing that nice little dessert kick and that nice little lime taste.
I will take that 90 and frickin' run with it. That's another great
Hey,
score.
Tim, you should go 90, my man.
Thanks, man.
Oh.
Go 90 because of Cuba. Okay, nice.
Hmm?
All right. Well, that was the taste segment. I thought I did pretty well on this one. And it tastes really good. If you want the recipe, you can look it up on Instagram. Just message us at Statesmen Podcast or email us at statesmanpodcast@gmail.com. I'd be glad to give you that recipe. And we're gonna move on to our final segment of Florida, where we explore the state with our eyes. And let's not look directly at it because it is the Sunshine State. Anthony.
Maybe you shouldn't look directly at me because I'm dripping with shrimp sweat because I've had more shrimp today than I've had probably in the entirety of last year.
Jesus.
And I have grits all over my phone where I keep my notes. So those are going to get everywhere as well.
Oh, boy.
But let's dive into this beautiful, beautiful state by looking at this slideshow. We're going to have to go a little quicker than normal on these slides just because it was a lot to cram in here. So,
All right, let's just
Oh.
rush.
All right. So what we're seeing here is the outline of Florida. Iconic shape. Everybody thinks it looks like America's penis.
Yeah.
What do you guys
I
think?
never saw it.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought it was a weird penis.
maybe it looks like a penis if you see the entire outline of the country, but I think alone it looks a lot more like the handle of a gun. Or something.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought too. I
Yeah.
always thought you have the handle and then this is the
Yeah, it's sort of like a triggery sort of.
pistol. I don't know, gun.
It's
Yeah, I don't know.
undoubtedly
Terminology.
phallic, y'all.
Mm.
It's undoubtedly phallic.
Sure, but many things are phallic to the mind of a sick pervert like yourself, Tim.
Tim,
Yeah.
I got excited because I thought you said undoubtedly Fallon. And I got
This is Jimmy Fallon's penis.
Yeah. You know what? It could also be like a weird open mouth of a gator,
interesting.
Mm.
Oh,
I can
like
see that.
very open.
like a very open
Mm.
mouth. Yeah.
I'm missing this one. Where do you can you point
like
with your
this
fingers?
is the teeth where the Gulf Coast is.
It's
is where
like-
the teeth.
Wow, wow.
Gaping
Oh,
maw.
I see it now.
Yes,
Interesting.
Yes. I do think that these little islands hanging off the tip are an unfortunate. It looks a little bit like this
I mean,
American penis has a little bit of pee dribbling behind it, and that's very funny.
I mean, you see
Anthony-
pee. I see semen.
All right,
What
let's
was
move.
that? Jesus.
Let's move on. Here's the state flag. An
Ah.
interesting one here.
Mm.
It's not a blue background with the state seal in the middle. It's a white background with the state seal in the middle. But there is a diagonal red X, which is called a saltire.
A salt tire?
A saltire.
I'm tired.
And that's
Solitaire?
a saltire. It's a red X that extends through the state seal. It doesn't cover it up like it's crossing it out like the Ghostbuster symbol, but it does cross through the background here. So let's dive into that state seal a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a Seminole woman spreading flowers across the shoreline. There's a sun protruding over the horizon line, a steamboat on the water, 2 sable palms, the state tree, and then there's "In God We Trust," the state motto, wrapped around in a yellow band, much like one of Ariana Grande's 7 Rings.
I don't know about you guys. I don't mind this flag. I think, we've seen a lot of flags with the state seal right there in the middle, and it just can get a little boring. I think this saltire is actually pretty interesting, and I think you can see it from a large distance. There's an insane, hilarious amount of detail inside the seal itself that you'd miss if this was hung up on any flagpole in America. But the cross is pretty significant. What do you guys think?
It's like in the center. It's almost like an impressionist painting in the way that the sky is drawn, and like from a faraway distance, it becomes like a very like cohesive image. But when you get up close,
Right.
you can see the individual kind of like brush strokes. Basically, It's really, really cool.
Pointillism. What about the point of what's the what's the end of Florida? There's a point there, isn't there?
The apex. The apex
The
is a point.
apex.
The tip.
Ah,
The tip
well.
of the old Floridian PP.
That's right. Anthony, what do you think of this?
I think this is a wonderful flag. I think it's unique. It stands out. It looks nautical, which I really like for a coastal city, or a coastal state, rather. My bad. But I also really like that it doesn't erase the native culture.
Yeah.
It includes the Seminole woman and pays tribute to that heritage of the state. So I think that's a really positive feature. I also think it just looks gorgeous. We'd commented previously, like if we could open up the porthole of the state seal and extend that and extend our view, what we could see. And I think that this is an absolutely gorgeous image. And it almost looks like it was knit or
Yeah, it kind of looks like a sewn, like a patch
Yeah.
or something on a jacket.
yeah. And I think that's just absolutely gorgeous. So let's move on to the next slide and
Oh,
take
I-
another look.
No, please, Elizabeth, what do you think of your flag?
No, Elizabeth.
I was gonna say, do you want me to share?
Sorry.
No, I actually really like it too. I love the seal. I always thought it was really pretty with like the sky, and you have the water and like the Native American Seminole woman. I did always get a little bit of Confederacy vibes with the X.
Yeah. It feels a little bit that way.
So honestly, I would prefer more of a just plain color background, but I like the seal.
I assume Florida was one of the states that was with the Confederacy.
I believe so.
They really should have put the headquarters of the Confederacy at the tip apex point of Florida. How hard would it be to get there? You know, you got to march down all of Florida with all your armies. They're falling in the swamps. They're smelling the sulfur. They're getting distracted at Hooters when Rick Ross is there performing. What do you think, Tim? Hard to get to?
Oh yeah, for sure. In terms of like a military history standpoint, which we are,
You're
experts,
always
yeah.
coming from.
Mhm. I would never, ever place a base at the apex of a damn Floridian state. God damn it.
Wow. You might want to consider though that the further north you go, the more southern it gets. So
I've heard that.
As someone from the north, I hard disagree. Now, the saltire on this flag, if you ask millennials, that's the second most famous X in Florida's history. Now,
He's talking about Tentacion, I believe.
yep. Now,
Wow.
we take a look at the state flower, the orange blossom.
Oh,
Right on
wow.
the orange tree, it's a white flower that occurs when they're blossoming. What do you think of that? Gorgeous.
so pretty.
Oranges.
Oh, it smells so good too.
I'm sure it smells good. I'm still getting whiffs of the OJ in this room, and I'm like, ooh, it is continental breakfast time in the Marriott, baby. It smells good.
Did you ever go out into like a backyard and pick oranges?
Sort of. Again, that park I talked, the hammock park, that there were some like orange trees. Not so much orange trees, more of like mandarin almost oranges.
Oh, sure.
Like it was like small
Small-
little ones.
tiny ones.
Yeah, tiny ones. And we'd pick those. But I've been to my fair share of like orange
groves.
like farms, groves. Yeah. Smells great. You can smell them like miles away sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the orange, like the orange.
Yeah,
smell.
like the
Yeah.
orange smell.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Florida
man.
Austin Powers says Grovey, baby. Yeah.
Let's
All
move
right,
on.
we can move on.
Here we have the state flower, the mockingbird.
This is
Wait.
Sorry, the state bird.
the mocking
State
flower.
bird. I'm sorry, I have shrimp poisoning right now. It's the
Are you
mockingbird.
catching my dyslexia right now?
It's a mockingbird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think? What do you think of this, Elizabeth? This bird?
I think it's cool. I do think it's a missed opportunity. I did think for a long time that the state bird of Florida was like the egret.
Right. Yeah.
because we have
man.
a lot of those.
God, that would be beautiful.
We've been doing a lot of
Yeah.
states recently that have like very specific seabirds that are just never selected. And I don't know why. It's always these tiny little like annoying sort of
Yeah.
hit like 3 of them with your car when they don't get out of the
Hey,
road, you know?
They don't want seabirds, they want A-birds.
Oh man.
They want the top of the
Yeah.
class.
But listen, don't mock them.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm furious with Anthony right now. Well, I gotta
it could
move
be
on.
it could be a peregrine, it could be an albatross, it could be an egret. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
like bigger birds that it could be that are more unique and just interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one big bird that we're all thinking of.
Which one's that, Stuart?
Eagle.
Oh, eagle. I thought you were thinking about Sesame Street.
What's
Ospreys?
this?
All right, here we have the most populous city in all of Florida. Miami, baby. Look at that.
Welcome
Miami.
to Miami.
That's an absolutely gorgeous shot of the city. Here we see the separation from like the mainland strip to another little island strip connected by a bridge, and it's just gorgeous. It's sprawling. It's coastal. There's gorgeous water leading up to it. Tons of skyscraper buildings that are all like this like white or tan kind of color that really just makes it feel almost like a foreign city
Yeah.
in a really interesting, cool way.
Whenever I see a picture like this with the island in the center, with all the water around it, I get kind of scared. Because I look at that island and I say, oh man, that's going to be underwater really soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think that's I mean, a lot of the people who live in the city probably have that same fear, you know? But just like our boy Ben Shapiro says, they can just sell their houses and leave.
Hey, don't evoke that asshole's name on our podcast.
I was making fun of him. I think he's a little dork. But come on, if you want to debate me, Ben. I love this town. It's great. I loved Burn Notice. You guys watch Burn Notice?
No, but that's
But I mean, I know what it is.
Sure,
I'm on-
Camden's nodding his head, yes.
I'm on burn notice every time I step outside when I'm in Florida.
For sure. The skin. But of course, famously in Burn Notice, Michael, our burned spy, is sent to Miami to live out his days in exile.
Wow. Poor him.
You-
Forced to live in
Wow.
Miami. Also, the setting of your favorite show, Ballers.
I don't like ballers. You like ballers.
Love Ballers.
Look, what else do we have to talk about Miami-wise? I mean,
Miami
remember that time?
Vice,
It's
Miami
nice.
Heat.
Do you guys remember when DJ Khaled got stuck on that jet ski out in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
Did he?
That was pretty crazy.
Oh, he deserves
He
it.
got lost.
He got lost.
I ain't lying.
Oh, because he would like Instagram story that, right?
Snapchat, baby.
That is so
Number
fucking
one
funny.
key.
Wow.
Elizabeth, have you spent a lot of time in Miami?
I've been there a few times. Honestly, downtown Miami sucks.
Ooh.
It's just what's bad about it is just you have a lot of people. You sadly have a lot of homeless people. And like I remember one time, my family and I had to go to Miami because we were getting on a cruise ship the next day. And we were hungry because we'd been driving for hours, and we just stopped into a Burger King, and like 5 people approached us like within 10 minutes asking us to buy them burgers and
Yeah.
stuff. And we were like, we're sorry.
I think that urban area plus the climate, right, is kind of like the perfect storm for people who
Yeah.
don't have a place to live. And Miami, I'm sure, has seen their share of perfect storms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many hurricanes have you lived through?
Oh gosh. A lot.
You lived through Andrew, which was a pretty
Yeah, I
significant
did.
one
I
that
lived
hit.
through Andrew. When was Andrew?
That was probably back in like the early 2000s.
Early
Yeah, that was
2000s.
early 2000s.
I think 04, maybe.
Yeah. I think the last hurricane I ever really went through was maybe Sandy, but they didn't. They just passed right by
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
They didn't really hit us that much.
Went right up to New York.
Yeah, the coast. If you're ever on the beaches are super nice of Miami. But sometimes when I'm downtown, I just feel like I'm like caged, like a bird,
Like a mockingbird.
Oh no, I was
Oh.
hinting to Birdcage, the movie.
Like the birdcage, baby. All our favorites are back. Who played the son in Birdcage? The only actor in that who never went on to act again.
Hey, let's not waste time
yeah.
on that and move on to the next slide. All right, here we have the second most populous city, Tampa, St. Petersburg, also affectionately known
Yeah.
as St. Pete's.
Is Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg the same place?
They're like next to each other.
Yeah,
Interesting.
when I was
Um,
looking these up, it was included as like the same place. It was
Oh,
Tampa
really?
Bay / St. Petersburg.
Oh well,
Ooh,
Floridians
uh-oh.
would disagree.
Yeah, I bet.
Whoa, well,
Are there
that's
a-
how it's represented to non-locals.
Are there a lot of brother versus brother fights? Like I live in St. Petersburg and I'm a Tampa boy.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I
feel like me and anyone I've met who's lived there has always separated them. So I assume they were their own cities.
How do you separate them?
Which
Is
isn't
it by
fair.
the size of the city? Is it that Tampa has all these big buildings and St.
There's
Petersburg
like a
is inland?
bridge.
Oh,
There's like a bridge between them. Like essentially you have like where I lived, I am kind of like on that little nub on the Gulf Coast where Dunedin is, and then you would cross a bridge to get to Tampa, and then there's also a bridge to St. Pete, but then to get from Tampa to St. Pete or vice versa,
Right.
you cross another bridge.
interesting. I
So
don't
there-
understand the geography of your state at all. It terrifies me.
It's just there's water everywhere.
And not a drop to drink.
Here in this photo, we have a big marina and then a nice stretch of land extending out into the water.
Yeah, big, huge one. I'd love to dip a big mozzarella stick in there.
And then we have a bunch of the same shade of building, that pure
Yeah.
white.
Miami's very white, isn't it? Or I guess Florida in general.
Mhm.
I don't mean
I guess.
racially.
I
I,
mean-
gu-
No,
I
it
guess
is-
I
it
mean
is
just
like
like
the
color
architecture.
aesthetically.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
colors
Yeah.
they're very light colors. You don't really see any
Pastels.
like dark colors in like any of the
I think like Miami Vice,
city-scapes.
like white suits with pink shirts under them, and that's like
Yeah.
my whole color palette for
Mm.
the state. But
Yeah, Miami is frequently represented by that light blue and pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
that's the colors.
And it's gorgeous. It's a fun popping aesthetic. Let's
Mhm.
move on to the next slide. This is Orlando, Florida.
Whoa!
Now, talk about pink and blue. Look at the sky in this shot. Gorgeous. And then we have the reflective water showing off those skyscrapers.
Mhm.
What do you guys think of Orlando, Florida?
Love it.
Elizabeth, have you spent a lot of time in Orlando, Florida?
I actually have because I had a lot of friends that went to the University of Central Florida. So I visit them. Again, downtown Orlando sucks.
Is that the same as downtown Disney, or it?
No.
Okay.
Separate thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If anything, you know what? Disney is actually more located in Kissimmee
That's right. It's like
than
just
Orlando.
outside.
Yeah.
But is it just because Orlando's bigger? That's where it's sort of like. It's
Yeah.
Right,
Because Kissimmee is like a small town, much like
Gotcha.
with Dunedin, I say Tampa. 'cause
Right.
it just
So what's
swallows everything.
what's the downtown situation in Orlando?
It's just trafficy. Honestly, I mean, I might be wrong because I only visited. I don't live there, but there's not a lot to do, to be honest.
Don't be worried about being wrong, by the way. This show's all about strong opinions with nothing backing them
But I'm
up.
too nice. I'm too kind.
You are the kindest
I
comedian.
am the
too.
kindest comedian.
I'm looking at this fountain here, and I just cannot help but be utterly disappointed. Orlando, Florida is the capital of Nickelodeon, and that should be spitting slime everywhere.
I know.
Well, let's move on to the next slide and see if this one gets slimed. Here we've got Jacksonville, Florida.
Ooh.
Got a big blue bridge leading into the city, a riverboat pulling up to it, a water taxi as
Did you say a big blue bridge? That's a triple B alliterative.
big
Nice.
blue bridge. And then we have just some standard reflective skyscrapers here, but it looks kind of tame. A little more tame than some of these other cities.
Definitely a smaller skyline in this one. I'm so struck by that Wells Fargo building, though. I mean, that's a mirror big enough to capture Rick Ross himself.
Damn. Ouch. He's lost some weight, Tim, but I do agree. It's a big mirror.
He's a big guy.
Elizabeth, any thoughts on Jacksonville? I've heard that it's kind of infamous in some ways.
Oh.
Maybe the outskirts of Jacksonville.
In what- in-
Heavy crime rates or
Well, I mean, Jacksonville. Also, again, there's not a lot to do there. It's very small. Again, it's also a college town, much like Gainesville. Jacksonville, you have. Oh no, sorry, I'm a UF person, not a.
It's okay. The rest of them are gator bait.
Yeah, they are gator bait.
I mean, it's, from what I know, Jacksonville has always sort of sounded like
Florida State University is what I'm thinking.
well, kind of like FSU. I've heard that Jacksonville is fucking sucks umpire, and they said that to the ump famously on the pitching.
Stuart, can I talk to you in the other room real
Yeah,
quick?
guys, you'll just have to give us a second. What's up, Anthony?
Stu, get your act together, dude.
I'm trying really
We're trying.
hard.
We're all trying really
I
hard.
didn't know we were
okay?
going to be drinking champagne, and I'm feeling a little woozy, and I don't think my jokes are that good.
Look, I'm so full of shrimp that I could pass out at any moment.
You have
I'm
a
just
tail.
trying to
You have a shrimp tail coming
Okay.
out of your mouth.
Pull it out. Okay. All right, we have to go back in there, but I expect you to clean up your act.
Okay. I expect you to, by the way, clean up your forehead. It's very sweaty. I'm sorry, that was an attack.
All right, guys.
Hey,
so
guys! God, sorry, Anthony and I just had to kiss.
Oh, okay. Elizabeth and I were just, checking out the Ville, hoping we would, potentially get on that boat in the water over there.
I can't wait to listen back to this episode and hear what you guys were talking about while we were out of the room.
That is, I really can't wait for everybody to listen to what we were talking about.
Talking about that pirate's booty.
Talking pirates booty?
Oh, that's a
Are we
great,
talking Buccaneers?
great
Oh.
snack,
Great
pirate's
snack,
booty.
Yeah.
White cheddar.
all right, well, let's see if this next slide is a snack. Here we've got the state capital, Tallahassee.
Nice.
This is a very boring shot to me, guys. There is a little more color in this shot. We see some brick buildings, none of the big skyscrapers, but it looks like a little more like Midwest standard.
You get a little bit of a cute downtown in the center there. I mean, you've got that like a tree-lined brick street along those kind of colonial plantation-looking buildings.
Tallahassee more inland than the rest of these. I'm not seeing water in this photo, so I'm just assuming.
I have no idea where
Yeah.
any of these cities are
No
in
clue.
relation to each other.
Well, I mean, we're more north right now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So yeah, you would. I think they are a little bit closer to the border of like.
Towards like Georgia.
Yeah,
and-
towards Georgia
gotcha.
and like
Cool.
Louisiana and stuff.
Interesting.
and
Have you ever
Alabama.
been to Tallahassee?
I don't think I actually have.
Yeah.
Why
doesn't-
would you?
Yeah.
Honestly, again, northern Florida is more associated with
Mm-hmm.
the universities, and
It's
that's
also
about it.
a lot more southern, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like that.
If I'm gonna go southern, I'm gonna go to Georgia.
Mm.
I'm gonna go visit my relatives.
Anthony, is there anything we need to know about Tallahassee?
Nope, getting there is a Tallahassee. Let's move on to the next slide.
Yep.
All right, here we see the famous South Beach, Miami.
Mm.
South Beach, baby. Look at those bods.
Oh, I see a guy pressing paninis in his arms right now.
Yeah, so this is just a famous beach area for people to go. Very touristy, lots of clubs and nightlife. Elizabeth, have you ever spent any time on South Beach clubbing it up or laying out in the sun getting fried?
Nope.
No?
I went to Clearwater Beach a lot.
Where's that at?
That's literally down the street from me.
Oh,
that's
right. Well, yeah, you didn't have to go to South Beach because you live so close to one.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Again, visiting Miami. Sadly, we would only ever stay around downtown because it was either we went there once to board a cruise ship, and then we went there another time for a convention, and that was about
A
it.
convention? You
Yeah.
gotta tell me which one.
Oh, it was a nerdy anime convention.
Ooh. Did you dress up?
Nope.
Oh, right. Well, we can just move right on.
I just went there for the voice actors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it Anna Miami? All right. So you didn't go to South Beach ever. Let's move on to the next slide.
Wow.
Did you ever go to Palm Beach?
Oh, Palm Beach.
This is a nice long stretch. It looks pretty boring beyond the beach itself, but it extends back into these very similar kind of cookie cutter resorts. They're not cookie colored. These are red topped buildings with an orange facade. No, white facade. Guys, I am
What's happening?
I'm having trouble with shrimp poisoning.
Yeah, the shrimp.
All right, guys, Palm Beach. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd love to palm my forehead. This is fine, but it's not that interesting, right? It sort of looks like more houses and super rich than it does anything else. And I gotta say, drown them all.
Wow.
I mean, they probably will soon. The tides are rushing onto this beach.
Yeah, there's not even anyone laying out or doing push-ups in the sand.
Yeah,
There's
what
no
a
one-
waste.
Yeah.
Maybe this was a picture was taken in December when it was, a low of 70 degrees.
Jesus.
So it's too cold to.
I see.
What's the white line, the white box? Is that like potential property?
Yes, I think Anthony's pulled
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture from some sort of development company that is showing like an empty lot and how far it reaches into the oceanfront property.
What do you guys think? Should we go in on that property?
I think the four of us could afford, what, a 12-bedroom house on Palm Beach?
At least the sand part.
There's no way we could even afford. My
Yeah,
God, the sand's more expensive than the house.
That's
Statesmen
true.
fans, if you want to donate to this property, please hit us up. Venmo me some cash.
Yeah, and make sure you hashtag it Psalm Beach because
we read the Bible there all the time.
you're smart.
All right.
Psalms.
Let's move on.
Instead
to
of a Patreon, is it a palm tree on?
It's a palm tree on the beach.
All right, guys, the shrimp poisoning is fading, and I'm getting a little happy as we look at this stretch. This is Duval Street in Key West. Robert's not anywhere to be found, but it's a commercially zoned street running 1.25 miles in length, and it stretches all the way from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico. It connects them both. It's famous for its preserved old architecture, but it's really just kind of like a commercial street for shopping and bar hopping and art.
A very popular tourist location for those coming down to the Keys, correct? This is sort of like, let's get tropical without leaving the borders of the United States.
Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
true.
And it connects the Gulf and the Atlantic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because it's an island. It's small.
Yeah.
You have
It's
to take a
where
bridge,
again,
right?
where you see Florida and you see like the islands at the very end. That's kind of the Key West area.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Remember your uncouth joke earlier, Tim? Well, this is the seminal fluid you so angrily mentioned.
Right. Come.
Yes, Tim. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous city. I'm a big fan of the sort of like low-key nature of it. This is a very pretty picture. It almost looks New Orleans-esque.
A little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit, yeah. Kind of a toned down New Orleans.
Well, I
Kind
think
of an old person New
the old,
Orleans.
if old people went to New Orleans and were like, stop the music by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Old Orleans.
Oh.
Elizabeth, have you ever been to Old Orleans itself? Duval
You know,
Street?
I'm actually so sad. I've actually never been to Key West.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What's
I've actually been wanting to go to it for a while, and we've never really been south of Miami before, to be honest.
This
Which
is
is
as
exciting.
south of Miami as you can get, right? This is kind of the point, the apex I've been talking about.
This is the lowest you can go in America.
How low can you go? We're looking at it on a computer.
Well, Elizabeth, you had your first shrimp. We just have some tickets for you. We're flying to Key West.
Whoa!
All right, but first we got to finish this slideshow.
Uh-huh.
Here's the next slide.
Oh,
You knew it had to be
beautiful.
included. Everglades National Park. Established as a national park in 1934, this is the third largest national park in the contiguous states, the largest tropical wilderness in all of the United States, and it has a unique ecosystem of tropical wetlands, tons of gators. So this is a shot where we see those famous roots rising up and extending into trees out of like a swampy bog kind of situation, a narrow pathway. It really looks otherworldly. I'd expect to see some Na'vi walking around.
No.
Yes, of course. You know, I don't have much to say about this, but I know this is a very fragile ecosystem that's being sort of encroached upon by men, building, and natural disasters, and climate change. So all I have to say for the listeners out there, if you fuck with the wetlands, you'll catch hands, my friend. I'll fuck you up.
Nice.
Elizabeth, have you ever been on a riverboat through a fan boat through the Everglades?
I have actually.
Whoa.
Yeah. We fed marshmallows to gators.
They love marshmallows?
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't know if they should eat those, but the man who was on who was pedaling the boat, not pedaling, but
Pedal
it's
boat
not a
to the Everglades.
you know, the great Southern man who was controlling the boat for us. He was like, "Here's some marshmallows.
Yeah, it's
feed them. That's Sadie. That's Lord G." He named them.
That's beautiful.
You know what though? I think all 80 species of the mosquitoes live there because you also get eaten alive. It's so swampy there.
Oh, yeah.
You got sweet blood?
Oh, you know I do.
Yeah.
I drink all that orange juice.
I've been drinking too much OJ today, guys. I got sweet blood.
I think that marshmallows are a safe choice because it doesn't give them like the blood crazies. You know, it's not like throwing a chunk of raw meat overboard and frenzying the creatures.
I don't know, Anthony. You're so sweet that I have a feeling if you fell in, they'd think you were a marshmallow.
Oh, all right. Let's move on. I'm also soft and white. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, here we have the Dry Tortugas National Park. Dry Tortugas National Park. It contains a dry tortugas, a group of islands off the coast of Key West. And this shot here is actually of Fort Jefferson, a huge fortress built in 1847, never completely finished, but over 16 million bricks were used. So this is just a shot. It's an island fortress, and the fortress takes up the entire island, which I think is really interesting. It's just a little chain of islands, and it's pretty fascinating. What do you guys think?
I mean,
It's fascinating that you said 16 million bricks.
Yeah.
16 million bricks had to be transported here because you're not making bricks on these islands. That's fucking insane. I can't imagine the manpower to do that.
I guess you just boats, right? Oh, also manpower.
Yeah,
I think
but
we
like-
understand it's slavery. I mean,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how a lot of these great things were built. Elizabeth, you ever been there?
No, I actually got excited because I thought it was the fort from St. Augustine for a second, which I have been to, which that is actually made out of shells.
Hey, let's move on to the
Whoa.
next slide and see it.
Oh,
Here we
yeah!
go.
That's the
The
one!
Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine, the oldest, largest masonry fort in the continental U.S.
It's gorgeous.
Originally completed in 1695 when Florida was still owned by the Spanish Empire.
Mhm.
Well, the previous fort, was that an American fort?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
So
is
this
pretty.
is an original Spanish fort.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's gorgeous.
It's
You
so
can tell.
pretty. It's so pretty. I've been there a few
Absolutely.
times.
Really? So where is
yeah.
this generally like in the geography of the state?
St. Augustine, I think they're on the other coast. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I feel like
But
the
it's-
whole state is coast.
They're more St. Augustine, I believe, is a little more northeast
Mhm.
of Tampa.
Northeast of Tampa. I'll remember that.
So
Don't quote me on that.
is it made of seashells in that like they're kind of like glued together, or are they like all crushed up
It's like crushed up
into like a powder and then
Almost.
mortared?
I mean, you can actually see if you ever go to the fort, like the tops of the stones, you can see seashells poking out.
Oh, that's
It's
so
almost
cool.
like they combine like cement and seashells
Yeah.
together.
They might have
Oh,
used the
hell yeah.
sand from the beach as the sand that you put into concrete to mix up. You know?
I think that's what they did.
Wow, I love this.
Hell yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. Here we have the John and Mabel Ringling Museum of Art, also referred to as the Ringling.
Yes.
It was established in 1927, over 10,000 pieces in a variety of mediums, and it was the legacy of one of the Ringling brothers from P.T. Barnum and Bailey fame.
Oh.
Am I going crazy, or am I the dad from Independence Day? I feel like I'm seeing David.
I've
That
never
is
seen
Michael.
Independence
That
Day.
is
It
the-
looks like
that is the
Michelangelo's
David.
David, right? Like a copy of it or something.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a metallic copy of
A
the
little
David.
bit.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's just like a really fun pink exterior, kind of that Miami pink vibe.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely. So what kind of stuff are you going to find in this art museum?
Sculptures, paintings,
A
clay.
lot. Yeah, it's basically it's a whole like estate thing. Like it's a giant you have different buildings set up and each building has some sort of different exhibit in it. You also have the house cuz he had a house like right on the water that you can also tour.
Damn.
It is a gorgeous place and it's located in Sarasota, Florida, and Sarasota is amazing, stunning, great beaches, great culture, great food. Yoder's pie.
Well, from your connection with Sarasota to Anthony's connection in Saratoga. Anthony, what's the next slide?
Okay, we're gonna move pretty quickly. Much like the cars in this picture, this is the Daytona International Speedway, located in Daytona Beach, constructed in 1959, home of the most famous NASCAR racing event, the Daytona 500, a 500-mile race. Elizabeth, what are your connections to NASCAR and to Daytona?
I've actually driven in a NASCAR once.
What?
The Boy Scouts, which my brother was a part of growing up, they had some sort of thing with the NASCAR races, and then we got to ride in the back of one once.
Do they have a back seat?
No. They have like a
trunk?
you're basically hanging out the window.
Right. I was gonna say, I thought it was like all stuff.
You're
back
kind of
there.
your legs are like in the back seat, and then the rest of your body just sticking out.
What was
Right.
the top speed you reached?
I don't remember.
All right, well,
I'm gonna say 180.
Oh,
Whoa!
Hey.
Let's move on to this next slide. That's also going to be the joint rating I receive at the end of the slideshow, 180. Here we have the Kennedy Space Center located in Merritt Island, established in 1962. Since then, it's been the primary launch site for human spaceflight. It's one of 10 NASA field centers in the world. Guys, beautiful shot. Elizabeth, have you ever been to space?
Can't say I have, only in my dreams. But I have visited the Cape Canaveral. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
this
no, please.
kind of shares facilities with Cape
Right.
Canaveral, but that's like an Air Force base.
Yeah.
But they would launch rockets and spacecraft out of Cape Canaveral.
And I even witnessed a rocket being launched once.
Holy
Damn.
shit, were
Yeah,
the people
we-
on it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We
Were they going to the
sat on the
space
beach for a
station?
few hours, saw the countdown, it lifted up. It was
God
real cool.
damn.
That's so cool. But you said this is the home of human space flight, and here I am thinking that Florida's the home only of human face bites.
Wow. Let's move on to the next slide. Damn. Look at that gorgeous
Oh.
theme park.
Tim,
man.
I'm sure you recognize it.
I don't see any slime.
This is Universal Orlando, founded in 1990. It's 541 acres of entertainment. It's got a current annual attendance benchmark of 21 million. There are two theme parks, a water park, a nighttime entertainment complex, 6 hotels, and an upcoming park, the Epic Universe. All the hotel resorts offer early admission to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Universal's Volcano Bay, the water park.
Is this just an ad for Universal?
Yeah, guys, get the Flash Pass. Get
Yeah,
first in
get the
line
Flash
every
Pass.
time.
Cool. Have you ever been to Universal? Well, I think we already talked about
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
Many a times. Gotten free a bunch working at Busch
Right.
Gardens. Yeah, it's a great park. Honestly, yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I loved going there. I still love going there every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Nice.
can say I threw up on that Spider-Man 4D ride they used to have there.
I mean, I just feel like it's so universal for everyone.
That was, yeah!
All right, let's move on to the next slide. We'll see a famous cousin.
Mm.
Walt Disney World, thought to be located in Orlando, but actually located nearby in Bay Lake and Lake Buena Vista.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Kissimmee?
Yeah, Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
I like to say
Kissimmee.
I like to say
Stop.
Kiss
Mario
me,
Beggs.
but yeah, and you were right. It's Buena Vista.
Oh, nice. It was originally opened in 1971. The property covers. Okay, so remember how Universal covered 541 acres?
I remember.
Their property covers 25,000 acres and it dwarfs it. Only half has
Yeah.
actively been used.
Wait,
though.
does it 7 dwarfs it? Okay.
Only half of that space has been used, but it's comprised of 4 theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney's Hollywood Studios, 2 water parks, 27 themed resort hotels, 9 non-Disney hotels, several golf courses, a camping resort, and other entertainment venues. Guys,
Yeah.
the estimated attendance last year alone
no.
Okay.
Universal Studios attendance last year was estimated 21 million.
Okay.
All right.
Last year, the estimated attendance of all of these parks was 58,311,000.
Oh.
You know, for all they have like 5 times as much space as Universal, but only are getting about double the guests.
I think,
So-
though, what Anthony was saying was that it's not all used. Not all that land is used, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
it is still underdeveloped
But
swampland.
they're counting random people who get lost in the swampland as visitors,
Yes.
right?
Now, speaking of seeing Na'vi, you can see that there's the Avatar world
Oh my
off to
God.
the side in this shot. And there's the Star Wars world in the back, and the castle, and the big ball, Epcot Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite thing to explore at Disney World?
The Bugs Life 4D movie that's like, it's hard for a bug.
My favorite part about Disney World was getting my signature book filled out.
Nice.
Mm.
Oh.
Mine was trading pins. I had a big pin necklace, and I
Oh.
would trade pins with the staff.
Yeah, your mom got angry about her debit card. Elizabeth, what's your favorite part of Disney?
You know, I love Disney. That was the thing I was trying to say earlier was that a lot of people get like a lot of families would get like the year passes,
Mhm.
and my family would be like, "No, we're gonna travel around the U.S. and Florida and see the sights." But you bet when I went to college and I had the money, I bought year passes.
Hell yeah. It's
Um,
crazy. You could also just go to Epcot and see the entire world by walking in a loop.
Yeah,
You could truly
Well,
eat, you
and
could
eat,
truly
eat and drink the world too.
That's right. Eat it, drink it,
Drink it.
play it, ride it,
Love it.
love it.
Disneyland in California is in big competition for the Disney title.
Mhm.
But I think
Mhm.
like the big difference is Disneyland is a couple days, and you need like a week minimum to explore
Oh,
all of Disney
yeah.
World.
Oh yeah, because then not only do you have the parks, but again you have like the resorts. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not staying there, you can like go there for free and like, or at least you used to. I know we would go there and like go to the pools and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
You
they
also have
have-
downtown Disney, which is now Disney Springs. Okay.
I like downtown Disney.
I'm sad they changed the name.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
And despite what's going on right now with the whole stupid debate about like Disney only being for families, Disney is also universal.
Wow.
That was good.
I know. Oh, I also used to brag as a kid saying like, California has the land, but we have the world. So-
Ooh, shit.
Ooh, fucking shade.
Damn.
To our California guest, Corey Anderson, you better put your gloves on because the fight's just
Ooh.
begun.
You've been
Ooh.
called out.
Ding ding.
All right, guys, here we have
Oh,
the
my
final slide.
friends.
Elizabeth, would you care to explain this slide here?
It is a picture of some big old gator babies. And by baby, I mean they're full on gators, not like little babies. And one of them is wearing some Mickey ears.
Mm.
And then in the swamp in the background, you have who is that?
That's Mr. Worldwide
Is that
himself.
Mr. Worldwide? Also wearing Disney ears. Also wearing
Yes.
Mickey ears.
And Anthony, I know you didn't create this picture, but is that the same PNG of Mickey ears you used on both the gator and Pitbull?
That is. That absolutely is.
Well,
They-
does it? What? Would you mind reading this text for us, Elizabeth?
Oh, it says, bye-bye, Florida. See you later, alligators.
No, that's cute, Anthony.
And then you respond, not for a while, crocodile.
Exactly.
So we had to speed through a lot of these slides, but it still was a very lengthy segment. There was just a lot to cover. There was a lot that I left out. But Elizabeth, overall, what score would you give this on the joint scale?
Oh,
out of 103.
yeah, out of 103. You know what? I was very impressed. You did include a lot of stuff I was hoping for. Wish there was actually a picture of Tampa and not just St. Pete.
Well,
And I really wanted to see Clearwater Beach, and see a bunch of groups of people in white shirts and black pants,
Ooh.
Anthony.
shadily walking around.
Hell yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 101.
Wow.
much like the
Excellent.
Disney film, I got all those Dalmatians.
Hell yeah, baby. But your record's just as spotty. Tim?
Well, excellent, Anthony. You have achieved 101 out of 103 old and achy joints. And I got to say, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. 101 is also the number of shrimp that I've consumed during this
Yeah.
episode.
All right, so that was the site segment presented by Anthony Rossi. We're going to move on to our final segment where we summarize how Florida touches our hearts. So we're going to go around in the circle, starting with Anthony, to Elizabeth, to Stuart, and then to myself, and just talk about what it means to you. Anthony?
So Florida obviously has a lot of negative stereotypes associated with it. It's a political wasteland. It's an absolute garbage pail politically. A lot of the voter base is old and outdated folks with outdated worldviews. And I really, it pains me to see the political activity that's coming out of Florida. So that is a huge strike against it. Some of the other negative stereotypes are for that it is just old people golfing. And I was shocked when I looked through this and I was preparing this slideshow, the amount of life that I was seeing. There's a lot of vibrance to it. There is a lot of very gorgeous parts to it. And these theme parks really do seem to be some of the best in the world. Like, I've seen a lot of theme parks when I'm looking through these slideshows, preparing these segments. This really seems to be the theme park capital of the United States. So, I don't know. I think that it's worth a little more investigation. I would like to see what it's like outside of those stereotypes that I harbor. Humidity is very tough for me, so I don't think I could ever live there. But I definitely would like to go back and really get my toes in the water, literally and figuratively. So I think there's a lot more for me to learn from Florida, but I would give it a higher score overall than I was anticipating. And I think that it is a pretty interesting, cool state.
Elizabeth?
I spent my whole life living in Florida, wanting to leave, hated humidity, not a lot to do. I mean, there was a lot to do, but with the heat, you just didn't want to step outside. And I feel like ever since moving away, I missed it a lot. And now I miss it a lot even more because my parents actually just moved away. So yeah, they're in New Mexico now.
Whoa.
I know.
One of the driest states.
Yeah, they wanted to keep the heat but leave the humidity. So it's just my brother there now. So that's nice that I still get to visit him and I still have friends there. But I actually I miss it. There are things that I feel like I wouldn't have noticed I didn't notice until I moved away, that I was like, oh, I don't have this here and I don't have this here. And I hope to one day, if I have the money, to own a nice house on the coast, if it still exists, But I think Florida, it gets a lot of shit because there is a lot of messed up shit that happens there. But it is my home state, and I love it despite its swampy nature.
Stuart?
Some 500 years ago, the conquistadors crossed the ocean looking for the Fuente de la Vida, or the Fountain of Life. I think today on the podcast, we might have found it for ourselves. I'm feeling younger, I'm feeling rejuvenated, and I'm feeling an energy from the southeastern part of America that I hadn't before. Most of the news that comes out of Florida is the bad stuff, It's because they have a law that those cases and are allowed to be opened immediately to press so they can publish the crazy fucking crimes that happen. And that's really all we see, Most states don't have that, so you don't see the weird little crimes that happen every single night. But Florida, man, happens all the time. I think that's unfortunate because it's giving Florida a bad reputation. While yes, the political side of things is always going to be a little backwards just because of the age of the people coming in there, those people die, they waste away, they become gator food, and the next people come in to take their place. Time is a slow process, but I think we're going to be running towards a bright future, much like Mooney, spoiler alert, at the end of the Florida Project when she runs straight into Disney World. Tim?
Wow. That was full of stuff. Is that true about the releasing the press thing? Wow.
That's a state law. Yeah, it's very weird.
So interesting.
It's super shitty. I don't know.
It sucks. That's why we get made fun of all the time.
Yeah. I wonder if all states had that. I wonder what their news headlines would be.
Nebraska man eats corn with butt.
Interesting. Florida has a little special place in my heart because that's where my mom's side of my grandparents lived pretty much, and they lived there for the rest of their lives after I was born. And I miss going to them because we did it when we were so young. I think some of the most fond memories I had of my grandparents was going down there, swimming, skinny dipping in their little pool, looking for panthers out in the forest that they live next to, and being fed an endless amount of Tootsie Rolls because my grandma used to give me Tootsie Rolls because they were my favorite candy.
Did she go Tootsie Tootsie?
This is my time, Anthony.
Sorry.
I've been to a few other places in Florida, and I think the thing that I missed the most in this presentation was those sunsets. When the sun sets on the Gulf of Mexico in the west, I assume it is one of the most beautiful sights of all time. Oh, have you ever seen the Green Flash, Elizabeth? Do you know what that is?
No.
He's like an eco-friendly fast superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The Green Flash is when the sun reaches a certain point in the horizon and it's going to reflect a certain, like, it'll flash green at you because of like the way that the atmosphere is reflecting the wavelength.
Yeah. Okay.
Sailors used to
that
think it
now.
was them going to the other side of the world for but a moment.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's in Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
God damn it. Are you being serious?
I'm serious.
I cannot
don't
tell.
be mad at me. I've seen the movie.
No, I just can't tell when you're being serious ever.
You better start believing in my stories, Tim, because you're living in them.
That's really all I have to say about Florida. If you have any questions or concerns about the great 50 states of the Statesmen, reach out to us on Twitter at StatesmenPod, on Instagram and Facebook at StatesmenPodcast, or by email at StatesmenPodcast@gmail.com. Please like, rate, subscribe, share the show with your friends because it helps the show out a lot. And Elizabeth,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. This
thank
has
you so
been
much,
so
Elizabeth.
fun.
Yeah,
This really has been great.
Every time, I know, I think I can speak for Tim on this, and that every time we come out to see Little Anthony perform with Fever Dream, it's always a blast to see you and everybody else on the cast just blow us away. You guys are
Thank
so fucking good.
you.
Your chemistry is so tight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out, blessing us with your time.
Thanks.
God, go, Anthony, go.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
anyone else can do it.
Elizabeth, it's awesome to share the stage with you. What a great team. We're in process right now, and it's been such a joy the whole time. I've
Yeah.
absolutely enjoyed getting more time to hang out with you, to play with you. You're super fucking funny. You're so weird and fun, and you love to climb on on things. You climb on a chair in the audience pretty much every show. It's
Also,
spectacular.
Apparently, you're really into anime. We barely got into it.
Oh,
on
that's
this.
true.
We'll
Well,
talk
I mean,
about it
that's
on the
not
next
very
podcast.
Florida, but you know.
Do you have anywhere we can find you on social media, or do you have any shows to plug otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm in Fever Dream with Little Anthony over here.
Yeah.
Every Saturday, right now at 7. We'll go to 8:30 soon, probably around October.
Yeah, you don't have to go to California to see LA. You can see him on stage. with Fever Dream.
Yeah. I also do stuff around the city, tour guide. Oh, I actually started doing more solo performances around the city.
Excellent.
Sweet.
You can follow me on Instagram at Elizabeth_I_Dow, DOW. No relation to Dow Jones. If I was, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on the show. Do you, Anthony Stu, have anything to say otherwise?
About what?
On behalf of my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi and Stuart Highcar, I'm your elder statesman, Tim Ferrari. State positive.
Hey, when I went to Disney World, I got out in the Haunted Mansion and had to get off because I was too scared.
I couldn't even get on.
Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah. One nation.